Nobody trusts anybody now. We're all very tired.
Hello, welcome back to another episode of the Hate to Interrupt podcast, the number one podcast where we lock children in sewers. It's me, Ozzy Cobb from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
I'm Nick from Stop Culture.
I'm VHS Nick.
I'm Ethan from Ghoulif, youtube.com/Ghoulif.
It's him. He's
It is
back.
So this episode we're going to be talking about Penguin a little bit, but I wanted to bring in Ghoulif mainly because he's been a big proponent of the show from what I've seen, and I think some of us aren't as big of fans of it as he is, so I kind of wanted another perspective in here with us. And so welcome in Ghoulif.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
This is also, before we begin, I would like to say this is proof that Ghoulif didn't murder me that one time and replaced me. We are two separate beings, as you can clearly see.
Yeah.
I mean, this is all pre-recorded, so this could be a splice.
Yeah, we
That's
could just
fair,
AI
yeah.
your voice.
Yeah, my entire talking and being here is all AI generated. Fucking Jeff Bezos did that shit.
Mm-hmm.
He's the boogeyman.
So
Yeah,
I'm curious.
So how do we all generally feel about Das Penguin?
I want to hear Timmy and Culture Nick first because they're kind of in the middle, it seems.
I want to hear give me like a number out of 10 rating where we're all kind of standing.
I'm sitting at an 8 out of 10.
I think I would go like 6.5 out of 10 on the Penguin.
Yeah, I thought it was like a 5 to 6 out of 10. I thought it was fine. It's decent. I'll save my points for later, but yeah, that's generally my rating.
I'm around like a 6.5. I don't
I
think
thought you hated it.
I mean, whenever people are like giving it 9s and 10s, I feel like you're kind of putting it in that like prestige television like argument, and like whenever it's compared to those shows, I think it crumbles.
Yeah, that's
And
the
if I'm
thing.
being-
I was telling you guys, like the finale has the highest IMDb rating of any single episode of. I'm pretty sure, maybe not the very top of the list, but it's like definitely way up there, past like Breaking
Which
Bad
is like
and shit.
which is really fucking annoying because like anytime there's any sort of this superhero hype shit going on, it's always pushed to the top of like Letterboxd or IMDb or whatever. Like remember when Spider-Man No Way Home or whatever the fuck the third one was called, that was like in the top 100 movies fucking ever on IMDb and Letterboxd. Like it's really annoying. Like it's really just like a massive over exaggeration. Like guys, I get that you like the show, but the last episode of The Penguin isn't like the greatest piece of television filmmaking ever, you know?
Yeah,
Like even like Squid Game's better than this fucking show.
well, Squid Game was a good show. I think you don't think
That's what I'm
like,
saying.
I think Squid Game is pretty good in the first half, but it loses me. But that's off topic, you know.
Yeah, but you said like even Squid Game, like it's a lower rung of TV. You know,
I don't think that it's comparable to like prestige television, but I'm saying I like the finale like reminded me a lot of Squid Game. Like the last like 10 minutes of this episode, it made me think about Squid Game, and I was like, oh, I liked Squid Game more than this.
See, I was kind of the opposite. I feel like I'm with Ghoulif, where Squid Game started out great, and then it just kind of slumped by the end of the show. This was kind of the opposite for me. For the first like couple episodes, I was just like, okay, whatever. This is just Tony Soprano, but he's the Penguin now, I guess. But by the end, I actually did like the ending. I was quite fond of the ending. I was like, okay, this is a satisfying payoff. I'll give it that. And this does solidify the Penguin's role as a bad guy, a villain, or whatever throughout this greater Batman universe. But, you know, I'm kind of the opinion where if this wasn't called The Penguin, this had like nothing to do with Batman or DC Comics or superhero shit, no one would give a single fuck about this show. No one would care. This would just be another generic crime gangster drama that just goes under the bus. And it's only getting talked about because it just happens to be related to Batman and DC shit.
Yeah, I mean, it didn't particularly have anything to say or anything like particularly interesting to do either. Like it didn't do anything that I haven't seen before, and I don't really feel like it had a very strong message of any kind.
Well, I that was kind of one of my points in the video I made about the Penguin, where just like Tim was saying, I was kind of making the argument that it's like Tony Soprano sort of transposed into the Batman universe with like a comic book genre patina over it or whatever. And then people in the comments were saying like, well, it's also kind of about how people with disabilities are kind of I don't know why they would think this or whatever. Like people with disabilities have a difficult time rising up in organized crime, which is that's just like kind of a strange theme, I guess, to
I can't
impart
believe
on
they
us.
made the mob woke.
Yeah,
I can't believe they made it woke.
Yeah.
And I also feel like Oswald's character was pretty inconsistent. Like everybody, like I'm kind of happy that he killed the kid in the end, but I feel like him like even like teaming up with the kid in the first place is pretty out of character for him, since he kind of only seems to keep people around that have some kind of way of benefiting him, and he's just a bad person in general.
It was more so that he kind of saw himself in the kid, with the same of like seeing he had a disability. He grew up the same exact way with a disability and kind of took him under his wing, which was honestly the last like decent thing he does in the entire show, pretty much, until, he snaps near the end. Or not snaps, but
Yeah, but I just don't buy it, is my thing.
Well, I mean, also they can't just start the show off with Oswald just murdering like a 16-year-old kid, because no one would ever. I mean, he can kill the annoying Kendall Roy rich guy, John Turturro's son or whatever, but like you can't just kill like a stuttering 16-year-old who's like broke, like
But why did they even add the show? Why'd they even add the character though?
It's funny you mentioned John Turturro's son, because they obviously recast John Turturro with Mark Strong, because I never got like a full understanding. Apparently, the reason why John Turturro didn't come back is because he was disgusted by like the violence and physical abuse towards women or something like that. But then I was just like, didn't you like almost choke Catwoman to death in the first movie? And didn't you also strangle someone off screen? I don't know, whatever, it doesn't matter. But like, that's not the point I was trying to make. The point I was trying to make is that I thought it was really weird that they recast Carmine Falcone as Mark Strong, but then there's that moment towards the end of the show where the mother from How I Met Your Mother is like burning down the entire castle, and one of the things they burn is a portrait of the family, and it's of Mark Strong, which makes me wonder, okay, so like canonically speaking, does Carmine Falcone look more like Mark Strong than John Turturro? Like, is that their way of like confirming this shit? Like, this is really stupid and it has nothing to do with like my greater criticism of the show, but I just thought it was a really funny moment where I was just like, oh, so I guess Carmine Falcone is just Mark Strong now and not John Turturro? Okay, cool, I guess, whatever.
Another thing like that kind of weirded me out was whenever they decided to not use the younger version of Oswald's mom, and they're like, let's have the old lady player as the younger version of herself later
the final
on.
Episode of the flashbacks.
Yeah,
I thought that was a really cool choice, because she's going through the I think they're called the EMDR
dementia shit.
The sessions where they're like having the older version of herself relive those memories, and you even see that shot where she looks in the mirror and sees the younger version of herself, and then we're just kind of in from there. I think that was a really cool way of kind of like her recontextualizing her memories and looking back on those memories.
It just felt weird for me because they'd already recast her, and I was just like, why don't we just fucking use the younger version of her? I don't know.
I think
I totally agree with Ghoulif, actually. I really like that.
And she's
it's
just
a nitpick.
The actress who plays his mom is so good. She was one of my favorites in the entire season.
What has she been in? Because I'm not too familiar with
idea.
the actress who played her.
I don't know, but there was definitely a lot of Oedipus complex shit going on with the Penguin.
It was gross by the end.
Yeah, I was just when I was watching this, I was texting my friend about it, and I was just like, why does Child Oz want to fuck his mom? Like, am I the only one that's getting that vibe from him? Like, what? This is really weird.
Yeah, there was a couple moments where I was like, oh, he's kind of a mama's boy, and then it kind of went on, and there was a part where he like starts spooning with her on the bed, and that was kind of a red flag in my mind. I was like, all right, you're being a little creepy. and then
He
you
wants
get the
to fuck
final
his
scene.
mom so badly that he kills his siblings so that only he gets to rail his mom. Like,
Ugh.
dude, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Can I
and
just say it's
the
so
last scene too.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Can I just say it's so good to have a villain story focused on a villain where they actually go, you know what? This guy fucking sucks. And
Yeah.
he sucks and he's a villain. He's a bad person.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I don't know. I felt like that was really only coming into play that Oz is genuinely a very very bad person until the end. Like basically when he kills Vic, that's the only thing that he
It just felt so
he killed
forced, though.
he killed his brother, but
Like-
I'm saying like the only like truly irredeemable thing that he does as an adult. You might prove me wrong on this because I might be forgetting a couple plot points, but when he kills Vic, I was like, that's truly fucking irredeemable. You know,
It's the other thing he does is his mom makes him promise, like, hey, if I'm ever in this, like, essentially, if I'm ever like a crippled old person who can't even get up in the morning, if I'm catatonic, you need to like let me die, otherwise, like, I'm just going to be in torment for the rest of my life. And then the final scene is her just trapped in her body, staring out of this penthouse of just like, oh, look what I did for you, Ma. I did this all for you. That was evil in my mind, because he knew exactly what she wanted. And then the same thing with Sophia, which I know she's sort of she's the antagonist
I liked
for the
what he
season.
did with her.
Yeah, it was so fucked up because like the worst thing he possibly could have done with her, the most evil thing, is throwing her back into
Put her
Arkham.
back, yeah.
Oh my gosh!
I like
And then
that.
of course Vic, and Vic, what he does to Vic, all those for me, I'm just like, that's so sadistic.
The Vic one honestly felt really forced because, like, I feel like they really couldn't pick a lane with that, and I feel like we have to kill him, I guess.
Yeah, I was thinking like throughout the entire show, I was like, I just don't see this kid really fitting into whatever the fuck the Reeves Batman saga is going to be post Penguin. So I feel like he'll probably die. The way I honestly didn't expect it the way it happened in the show. I mean, did you guys see that coming? I didn't.
I predicted it from the beginning, but I forgot about it by the time the final episode came around.
Yeah, I kind of predicted that because one, just purely because I just cannot in my mind conceptualize a scenario where this kid dukes off against Batman. But I think the reason why that didn't really come as a surprise to me, because the show constantly drills in your head how much of a scumbag the Penguin is. He's always like, oh, you can't trust him. He'll always backstab you. He's always looking out for himself. And then he just does that over and over and over and over and over again. You know, so when that happened, I was just like, I don't know. This kind of just seems par for the course. This just seems in line with his character. I mean, the twist, the whole him killing Victor wasn't itself the problem. I think it was just more the whole we're constantly spammed to death about how scummy and shitty the Penguin is, like his character and like his personality. Like we're constantly reminded of that. So when that twist happens, I'm just like, oh, what? Okay, great. You know, like maybe if there was that like lull period in between where we're kind of like tricked into thinking maybe the Penguin is like a good person. Maybe he is like not this scumbag. He truly is like a man of honor. And then by the end, he just betrays all that and he says, nah, fuck you. You know, I think that would have been more interesting to me personally, but whatever.
Yeah, it wasn't even like jarring. Like I feel like if it was like a hyper like head fuck at the end, you're like, what the fuck? Like, but I kind of did see it coming just based on like all the shitty things he does throughout the entire season. One other thing that I did like, though, I liked whenever he like got all the underlings to like turn on the bosses and stuff. I thought that was fairly interesting too.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I didn't think that he would kill Vic. I mean, once you see the final episode and everything, and you know his whole little speech about how having family is a weakness and you can't have weaknesses in this life or whatever. I mean, that, you know, that's a good justification for it, but definitely like while it was happening, I was like, whoa, what the fuck? I mean, Nick, you said you had it spoiled for you, but I definitely didn't see it coming at all. I really liked that ending, actually. I thought the last 5 minutes were really, really great.
And just the really disrespectful moment where he just takes his money and just tosses his driver license into the river.
Yeah, what a piece of shit.
Yeah, just like the final fuck you. I'll take this $100. Hey, forget about it.
I took that as he was trying to make it seem like he was robbed.
I think he was, but it was just felt like a spit on his body, essentially.
Yeah.
But
and going back to the Sopranos thing, I felt like that was their attempt at doing
Spoilers for Sopranos.
spoilers for the Sopranos. Sorry, but come on, guys, it's been 20 years.
Fuck me, I guess.
It felt like okay, sorry. Do you want me
No,
to spoil
you
it?
can
I'm
go
sorry.
ahead,
Okay.
go ahead, I don't care.
Okay. Okay. So this ending, it felt like they were trying to do the whole Tony killing Christopher like death thing from The Sopranos. It felt like it was trying to do the same thing. But I feel like it just doesn't work in this one. On top of everything I just said before about like the repetitiveness and like the
well, it's also an 8-episode season of a show.
and also like like you said, there's not enough time to develop that. Like maybe if there was a second season and they go off and it's like, oh yeah, you're gonna be my consigliere or whatever the top whatever.
Consigliere.
I've been playing Mafia, so all these like mob terms are in my head right now. So like yeah, he becomes this number 2 guy, his right hand man, whatever, and then like the second season something happens and it causes him to realize, oh, family is a weakness. I guess I better kill you off or something like that. You know, I feel like that would have been more satisfying. And plus it would have subverted my expectations where it's like, oh, maybe the Penguin isn't a piece of shit. Maybe he does care about this kid, at least enough to keep him around, you know, but they just kill him off because he's the Penguin. He's a bad guy. He's got to do it, you know, and plus Tony Soprano did it to Christopher. So, you know, might as well.
I think the killing is pretty justified in my mind because
he was
Vic
annoying.
is one of the only people he really cares about, and like this entire final episode, we see exactly how much like caring about someone can like completely screw over and ruin everything you have with his whole situation with his mom, which he was keeping a secret for the entire season. So going through that entire like really great scene of them just screaming at each other and she stabs him in the stomach with the bottle, and then transitioning into Vic being like, you know what? I like you. I think we're family, buddy. Yeah, he's getting his ass choked out.
Yeah, but I mean the difference there is like Vic is different from Oz's mom, obviously, because like Vic is an operator in the game. Like he can protect himself to a certain degree, and he's like, you know, it's within like mob rules and everything. Like Sophia should have never like kidnapped Vic's mom, and like the Penguin should have never fucking like killed Salvatore's family. Like that shit is like way out of bounds. Like you can't really do that in the Mafia, at least by like, you know, the generally accepted like rules of this shit.
Yeah, this is also a world where a guy dresses up like a bat and beats people up.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying, like, to the extent that these people have rules, like they should try to follow that. I guess that their mob code of ethics, you know.
Speaking of man of bats, is it unfair for me to say like where the fuck is Batman in all this? Like I get that they explain that, oh, Batman's off doing whatever, or someone tripped on a banana peel and accidentally broke the bat signal, whatever. You know, I get that they explain that, but you have to realize that when a fucking earthquake occurs at the bottom of the streets and an explosion causes this like mass like crater to occur in the middle of Gotham City, I don't know, you'd think that'd be enough for Batman to be like, oh, maybe something is going on, I better get the fuck over there.
I mean,
he
might
is that
have
unfair
gone over
for me
there.
to say?
Well,
We just
I
don't
think,
see it.
I think the only way it's going to make it okay is if like they do like they pull like a Christian Bale Batman. He's like he's training in Nepal or some shit like during all this or something.
I don't think so. I saw that. I think it was a newspaper clipping in the early episode where they mentioned Batman's been missing for like a week or whatever.
That's what I mean. Like he has to be like he has to not be able to get there. Like that's the only thing that makes it make sense.
Well, think about also this. It was like I think a week before this was the end of the Batman, where he took a shotgun shell to the chest and like got the shit kicked out of him in that.
Yeah, but that's literally what Batman does, though.
No,
like,
I understand that, but this is also like the supposed grounded universe where I wouldn't be shocked if he was like fixing his entire bat suit, you know, recovering from his wounds, and he's also going through a rebrand essentially by the end of that movie.
Yeah, he's not Vengeance anymore.
Yeah, and the events of the Penguin are over the course of a week.
I
think.
Are they? I mean, well, I know that the events of Batman are a week. I know, or just a couple of days, right?
Like Halloween to Election Day, which is like a week later.
If it's a week in the Penguin, then it feels very rushed because he built that entire underground fucking empire.
think it's a
like,
week,
in
though.
like 2 seconds.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it feels like a week though. Like it feels like all this shit happened within the span of a couple of days, and I was like, man, this is the craziest week to ever fucking happen in this city.
No,
Probably.
it definitely wasn't. It definitely wasn't a week because they were talking to the Falcone daughter or whatever, and they're like, "You've only been out of Arkham for 2 weeks."
Oh, okay.
So and
Nick, she's a gigante.
She's a gigante.
yeah,
Respect
you're
the
right.
name,
Nick. Sorry.
Gigante.
She's a
Not all.
gigante. Also,
That shit was fucking cringe too.
Let's get out of here.
No, she was great, but like the part whenever she's lighting everything on fire and it's like playing the song, saying "She's a bad girl."
I don't know. I thought that was sick.
Fucking
Oh,
rolling my
I
eyes.
thought you were just talking about like the fact that I am not Falcone, I'm a gigante, and I'm like,
I think that was valid.
clap, please. That was a reference. That's the reference to the comic book. Is it? I have no idea.
I don't know.
I think it
Yeah.
is. I've been watching all the inside the episodes after, and they said
Oh,
that
okay.
that's part of the comic book lore. Actually, one of my favorite
Okay.
moments of the entire series is when she, you remember when she just randomly shoots what's his name, Johnny Vito, or you know what I'm
Johnny
talking about?
Vito.
Yeah.
Yeah, Johnny Viti. She just fucking
That
kills
was
him.
really
in
Hold
front of
on
everybody.
here.
That was a great scene.
That was really cool. That was a real bad bitch moment that I was like, hell yeah.
Yeah.
She was
Okay.
easily
More like
the
that and less of the "I'm a bad girl."
So I looked it up. So the Batman takes place over about a week right after Halloween into like early November, and then it says the Penguin. They don't have an exact time, but it takes place all the way up to a bit before Christmas and New Year's.
Okay.
Okay.
So almost 2 months.
Couple months.
So Thanksgiving like happened at some point in this show.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's actually it's like much like Sam Raimi's Spider-Man's trilogy. It's actually a Christmas show. Can we agree
Mhm.
upon that?
That's
Mhm.
true. Yeah.
Sure. I mean, I'll probably
Yeah.
never watch it again. So watch it whenever you want.
I'm just so I don't know, like what are they gonna do for the next sequel? Like is the Penguin going to be the main villain, or
No.
are they?
They confirm that.
No, they'll probably make him like you know how the later Harry Potter movies, like Voldemort is technically the bad guy, but they also have like another sub bad guy that's there to
Mhm.
dick around until the main bad guy shows up. That's probably what the role the Penguin is going to play, because from what I understand, Matt Reeves hasn't confirmed anything yet, but it seems like either Clayface or Mr. Freeze will be the bad guy in the next one. I think.
I don't think
maybe.
it's Mr.
I don't know.
Freeze. That seems
really
too
hope
fantastical
so.
for this universe.
I mean, I don't know.
I think they already said that it wasn't specifically going to be Mr. Freeze.
Damn, that sucks.
I think they did
it's
say it might
probably
be
gonna be a
Clayface.
golden age version of Clayface,
Yeah.
which is going to be like the guy with the prosthetics that murders people.
I mean, I feel
I
like
don't
they, they have Hush sitting right there. Why don't they just fucking do that?
The problem with Hush is that a lot of like Hush's actual like the things that people like about Hush are from his original Hush story, and all the elements of that character they gave to the Riddler in the first movie, like this whole taking down corruption and killing the same way.
Okay.
So it would essentially be like repeating yourself unless you do something drastically unique with that character. But
I mean,
My
watched.
knowledge about
Sorry,
go ahead.
I watched the animated Hush, and isn't that the one where it's like it's actually Jason Todd after he gets like resurrected in the Lazarus
no, that's
pit or
Under
whatever?
the Red Hood.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I'm getting my
Yeah.
lore. My
Yeah,
lore
get
is
your
all
lore right.
my lore is loopy, guys. I gotta fucking read up on this shit.
What are you,
Yeah.
some kind of fucking Batman fan? You are right here.
Yeah,
Can't even
and
keep up with
I
the lore.
don't think it's going to happen in this one, but I want like an actual fucking Nightfall like storyline. They tried to do it in fucking the Christian Bale Batman, but that shit fucking sucked.
For you.
Oh, are you talking about the Bane stuff? Yeah.
Dude, Bane
Do
is
you
like
guys
literally
think
the
Bane will
sickest
show up?
fucking villain.
You guys
No.
think Bane will show up in this universe?
He might, but I think honestly, my prediction is whatever villain they do with this, which would probably be Clayface or something. I think they're gonna do like, I think they're setting up Joker to do the third one again.
I really fucking hope not.
I think they're going to.
'Cause
They got Barry
I-
Kogan
They're
already.
definitely going to.
No, but like part of what I mean, I didn't even like Joker, Jonkler, the Joker baby in the first one, but I kind of like the idea of Jonkler being like sort of like a Hannibal Lecter type character, where
I like
he's
that
just
idea.
there to be like, "Oh, you need my help, Batman? You want me to analyze this psycho or whatever, you know, like I kind of like the idea of him being that, because I am so fucking sick of this character. I've said this before multiple times, and I guess I'll just say it again. I hope to God we can go through at least like 3 more Batman movies without using the Joker as the main
That's
villain.
I do
am
not
so
mind.
sick of
I do
him.
not. I do not mind the Joker. I just really hope he doesn't just try to fucking copy Heath Ledger like fucking Jared Leto did.
Have you guys seen the deleted scene from the first
Yeah.
movie?
That,
Yeah.
that was
You
that
guys-
was like
okay.
one of the most unintelligible scenes I think I've ever fucking seen. Like
I didn't
the
mind
fact,
it.
I know, but it's just like the scene was fine. It was just like the fact that it was he's through the glass wall at the jail, and also
Mhm.
Barry Kogan's doing this like weird fucking accent. Probably the prosthetics are like making him into a mush mouth or whatever. But like,
Yeah, they
I
said
could
he
not
had like a hook
understand.
in his mouth.
I couldn't understand what the fuck anyone was saying. I was like, Jesus Christ.
I'm the Joker, baby.
I have a question for you guys. So, like, something that has bothered me. I feel like most shows nowadays suffer from like the 8 episodes.
The standard 8 to 10 episode. Yeah.
Yeah, I think like a minimum, like a good TV show should have is like 12. I think minimum should be 12.
Minimum?
But like, yeah, 100%. Because like you need time to develop those characters, and I feel like anything less than that is just it always feels rushed to me.
I mean, TV
But,
shows
like-
were getting by fine on 10 up until the Zaslav era, because I think this is mostly like an HBO Max issue. It's also like the Disney Plus shows have been 6 episodes usually, but Zaslav
But
has
that
this
shit
new
feels
reign
fucking
at
rushed and
Max.
shitty too. It just feels like a fucking long, badly made movie.
Yeah,
Oh,
but
I think
12 episodes is too long, I think, for a lot of these shows.
Do you
Not,
remember when
bro.
every show had 22 episodes?
Yeah, and it was fucking
Yeah.
great.
I wouldn't say great.
Not
I would
great.
say there was
Okay,
a
it
shit
depends
ton
on the
of
show.
filler.
It
If it's like
entirely depends.
if
Like,
it was
if
like a
it's like a
CW show,
sitcom-
then yeah, it's fucking horrible. But
Yeah, but if it's like a sitcom, then I think like a 22 episode format very much benefits from something like that. But if you're trying to be like can you imagine if The Sopranos was told in 22 episodes? It really wouldn't work, you know? You're just kind of stretching out I think it's entirely dependent on the type of story you're trying to tell and how you're trying to communicate that, you know? Like, I don't really need like, what's a good example? I don't really need like Arcane to be like 22 episodes long. I think the amount of episodes for something like Arcane is fine. You know, like I don't really need the Penguin to be 12 episodes. By like around like episode 6 to 7, I already felt like they were stretching their concept pretty thin anyway. So like I don't really know what 12 episodes would benefit from that.
well, I
Yeah,
think like
I
12 to
agree.
13 usually is like the best shows I've seen are on like the 12 to 13 range.
Which ones have 12?
But,
Like Breaking Bad. I'm thinking you're guessing.
Like Breaking
I'm
Bad,
guessing you're talking about,
Sopranos,
yeah.
The Wire, things like that. But like I feel like this show it almost felt too long even at 8 episodes. Like, and that's like a rare thing for me, which makes me feel like it really just there wasn't that much substance to it.
Well, it really damaged House of the Dragon this year, the 8 episode structure.
Yeah,
Oh my
the
God,
Game of Thrones,
season
as soon as they
2.
started shortening the Game of Thrones seasons, bro, that shit suffered hard.
Well, have
Yeah.
you guys seen House of the Dragon season 2?
Yeah.
It's
No.
so fucking bad.
I don't think it's so bad, but
It's not. It's
So
so
boring.
nothing. Like nothing
Yeah.
happens.
It is so boring, which sucks because the first episode was so fucking fire, and I don't.
Yeah, that was
pun
gruesome.
intended. Yeah, it was so.
It was so fucking
incredibly
Dragonfire.
well written. Yeah, it was incredibly. It was Dragonfire, bro. Yeah,
Jakars, bro.
Yeah, it was incredibly well paced. It was incredibly well written. There was a lot of great performances, especially from Patty Considine. Like it felt like shit was happening each episode, and then in the second episode, and I don't even fault any of the creatives involved. You know, like I'm primarily convinced that this is a exact business decision where fucking David Zaslav is just like, we got to cut somewhere, and I could cut my salary, you know, because I'm already getting paid $20 million per year, but fuck that, why not, you know, let's just cut the budgets of all these massive shows that, you know, give us a reason for our brand to exist and, you know, give us some relevancy and some fucking credit as Warner Brothers / HBO / whatever the fuck, you know, fuck that. Why care about legacy or premium top quality entertainment or art or whatever when we can just cut the budget, save money so that I can buy an extra yacht? Go fuck yourself. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I mean, well, Max, they're in kind of a. I mean, I agree with what you said, but like they're in a shitty position, kind of, because if you think about their most of their flagship shows now are these huge like CGI laden, extremely high budget affairs. You know, like House of the Dragon, Last of Us. What else? Like basically even
We're
the
doing a
Penguin.
Harry Potter show. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Fuck
that's gonna be
that.
so pricey. You know.
I will say Max out of all streaming services right now has like the most promising stuff, and they consistently do put out decent quality stuff.
Actually, I thought that for a long time. I feel like it's Apple TV now. Or you guys
I
have
don't
Apple
have that.
TV?
No,
I haven't been keeping up
No.
with Apple TV shows because it's Apple TV. But like I feel like I've heard a lot of good things about their shows.
mm-hmm.
No, I mean they just did an entire season of an Alfonso Cuarón. He wrote and directed every episode, and it was Kate Blanchett was in the lead. It wasn't like the best thing I've ever seen from him, but it was really, really fucking good.
Yeah, I
Like-
heard it wasn't very great.
It's not amazing, but it's definitely like one of the best things I saw on TV this year for sure.
What's that show with Adam Scott? I've been wanting to watch that one really bad.
Oh,
Severance?
Parks and
Severance.
Recreation.
Yeah, I heard that was very good.
Severance
Parks
is,
and
is
Rec,
is one of the best shows I think I've ever fucking seen. Also, the concept. Do you guys know what the concept is?
No.
The concept
He's
of
like
Severance.
stuck in like his office, and when he goes home, he forgets or whatever.
Yeah, basically. So like,
I have seen the trailer for that. Yeah.
so basically, the concept is like this. He works for an Amazon-like company, and they're offering this procedure called severance. So basically, what it does is like splits your perception in two. So as soon as you basically experience your life outside of work and your life inside of work as two separate identities. So
That's
that
kinda sick.
it basically creates one version of you that's always at home, and then one version of you that's a slave that's always at fucking work. So then, like, you know,
Okay.
you get to see
Like
kind
the
of both
Substance.
sides of it. I still haven't seen that.
Yeah.
but,
Don't spoil Substance.
okay.
I still haven't seen
Yeah.
it.
Okay.
but yeah, it's this really, really, really cool show. A lot of
Yeah,
interesting.
Yeah, I heard it
it's
was
been on my
great.
watch list
Yeah,
for a while.
Yeah, I've also heard amazing things about it. I'll watch it at some point. I think like the only Apple TV show that I've seen, and I only got Apple TV briefly just for this show, and it was for Ted Lasso. Like it's not like the best thing in the world, but it's very entertaining and very, very fun to watch. I don't know
Isn't
if
it-
you guys seen Ted Lasso at
I've
I've
heard that
heard
there's
more
I've
about it.
seen like a season of it.
there's an epic cunnilingus scene in that show. Is that true?
all.
You know what I'm talking
I don't
about?
even fucking remember.
Is
I
there
don't
an
even remember
epic
that.
cunnilingus scene?
That's I remember there was a big controversy online because there was epic cunnilingus and Ted Lasso.
Doesn't Joker Folly do have an epic cunnilingus scene?
Does
No,
it?
there's an epic
No.
prison rape scene, but no cunnilingus.
Oh god, I don't want to talk about Joker anymore. It's really funny that fucking Tim Dillon's just fucking shit talking it on like every podcast though.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's,
what is
that's
he-
hilarious.
What does he have to say?
He's just saying it's literally the worst movie ever made. He's like nobody. It was the worst thing I've. Basically, he's just saying like spilling the beans entirely. He's just saying it's fucking horrible in every way.
Damn, bro, that's crazy. But wait, all right.
It's so
back,
funny because he was in it.
yeah, he was like one of the security guards. But back to the Penguin for a second. I just wanted to, because the one point that Tim raised that I feel like I'm curious to see what Ghoulif thinks of this, because for me, even if I like the show, I'm like somewhere in the middle on it, but it's pretty hard to argue against the point, in my opinion, that this show would never have been successful if it wasn't connected to the Batman universe. Like, what do you think about that, Ghoulif?
I don't think never successful, but I definitely think it wouldn't have a leg up. Absolutely, which is unfortunately the just how the industry works right now. If you want to tell your own story, you kind of have to attach yourself to a bigger IP to be able to tell that story.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah, I don't
Yeah.
disagree.
I mean, it's just it's confused when I watch interviews with the woman who created this show.
Like Lauren LaFranc.
Yeah, I just it's just it's just kind of confused. She doesn't seem like someone that would want to make a mafia show, and to me, it kind of shows, because like this show isn't really like I mean, you know, most media depictions of the mafia aren't very accurate, but this was like the lowest rung of like mafia accuracy for me, which I appreciate as an Italian American. I want my mafia shows to have some level of fucking some grit, you know. This was just, it was very comic booky. Which
The one
you
thing
know.
Fuck
I've heard
that!
about
I'm
mafia
going to
shows.
Vegas.
The one thing I've heard about mafia shows and movies is the one piece of accuracy you need is everyone has to be fucking eating all the time, and they didn't do
They
that
don't
once
even
in the
do
Penguin.
that.
I know.
Yeah, they don't. They talk about slushies, which that's not Italian.
It's the fucking best.
You gotta mix
that
if you mix the flavors up.
There's all the
it's-
flavors.
Yeah, that's a classic Italian American dish. Gas station slushies.
Wait, but so if they're not gonna fucking even have the Penguin be the big bad and the Batman too, then what the fuck was the point of this?
I think it's basically
Content.
well, I wouldn't be as cynical as that, but like I think they had the idea because Colin Farrell wanted to be in the show ever since they filmed the Batman because he's just like I like being in this character makeup, although he kind of fucking hates it now. But the general idea for like Matt Reeves' pitch for Gotham is that like in the same way that like the Arkham games, every villain is just kind of out there and existing in the world. Like the world's alive. It's not just like Bane's here today. We're gonna go fight Bane, and then next month it'll be the Joker, and then the next month it'll be Scarecrow. It's like no, they all just kind of exist and are constantly doing shit. So like in the same way the first Batman movie or the Batman had the Penguin just running a club, and then the Riddler's also there, and then Carmine Falcone's doing his own shit. Same way, it's
See,
just kind of creating a living Gotham.
I think a big part of
I-
it was probably like them being like, the Batman's taking way too fucking long. We don't want to lose hype.
Yeah, it's like when they made Fallout New Vegas in between 3 and 4. You know, just to pad out the runtime, which ironically is Fallout New
Better.
Vegas is the best one of the series, but you know that's a separate point.
Or on the same topic, when they made Batman Arkham Origins because Batman Arkham Knight was taking too long.
Yeah, but that's like the opposite of Fallout New Vegas.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's terrible, but it's not great.
So
I mean-
sell your 8 to me. So tell me why it's an 8 to you.
It's a low 8.
Okay.
See, this is the thing. It's a low 8. It's probably in like maybe if another season comes. I honestly don't want them to do a second season. How are we all feeling about that?
Oh, definitely. They
Apparently
definitely
Agreed.
won't.
they want to do one. Apparently
They've
they're
talked
like,
about it.
Well, with
yeah.
how much like glazing the show's getting, I feel like it's definitely gonna get another season.
Just do another show set in the universe with a different character. I don't care. Just, as long as it's decent, I don't care.
Nick, didn't you? I thought you said a couple weeks ago that Colin Farrell didn't ever want to do this again. Is that true?
He just fucking hated the makeup.
Yeah, I mean, well, I guess the difference maker is like if he's gonna show up for like a, I don't know, like a glorified cameo role in fucking the Batman 2, then I guess that would be much different workload and stress on him than doing an entire series where he has to wear it fucking every fucking day for.
Yeah,
however
apparently
long it
the
takes.
reception of the show was so positive to Colin Farrell that like it made him want to change his mind and say, "Oh yeah, I'd totally be down for a season 2 if the script was just as good as the first season."
Do you know
or
how many
better
people
or
I've
whatever,
heard
you
say
know?
this show is like one of their favorite shows of all time?
I think that's way too soon. People were saying that about Squid Game when it came out. I think when people get really hyped about a project, you need like a few months to kind of, if you're really into it, you need to kind of like realize what's actually happening and how you're feeling and kind of like let those feelings change a little
Yeah.
bit. Because they usually, you know, if I give a really high rating on something, this will probably go down to a 7. I don't know. But like, I don't know. I think that's very common for people to be way overhyped for something.
Yeah, I'm a
That's true.
victim of recency bias myself.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many times where I just watched Tree of Life with Terrence Malick the other day, and I was like, I was drunk also, so I was like, that's my favorite fucking movie I've ever seen. But then like the next day, I was like, oh, it was really good. I don't know if it's my favorite movie, but
That's
yeah,
film
Surely
right
you
next
guys
to me.
haven't seen Borderlands, the most dankest, epicest movie ever.
I'm actually
and I
super
saw
down to
that
watch it,
recently.
but I don't want to watch it for no reason.
What?
I want to watch Red One.
Oh my!
Me too. I'm actually gonna go see it. I want to see how bad it
Wants
is.
us to go watch it. I
'Cause
mean, we keep talking about not enough original ideas coming out of Hollywood, so we all really need to go support Red One.
there's
Guys,
a
it's an
talking
original
polar bear.
movie.
There's
Guys,
a talking
Also,
polar
JK
bear.
$250,000 or $250 million movie
Yeah, guys.
about
It's-
Santa as
Yeah,
J.K.
but they couldn't
Simmons.
even get Ryan Reynolds. Instead, they got Boston Ryan Reynolds instead, which is like less quality Ryan Reynolds, I guess.
No, I heard they replaced Ryan Reynolds with a Minotaur.
No, I think it's Krampus, bro.
That's oh fuck. I was thinking it was
And
a
you messed up
Minotaur.
your Christmas
But
lore.
it's like it's not even a Santa story. It's the story of Santa's top head security man or whatever, because apparently apparently that's more interesting or whatever.
So
I feel like this premise though has been already done like 6 million times. Like I feel like we've gotten so many movies where just like it's Santa, but he's actually like shredded and like totally ripped and shoots guns and kicks the shit out of people. Like I feel like we've gotten this concept with Mel Gibson,
Mel Gibson, and then what was the other one?
The Rise of the Guardians, the animated one where Santa's Russian.
Yeah, that one too. I
No,
swear
but what's
to
the one
God,
with the fucking David Harbour?
Violent Night.
Oh, Violent Night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
it's
like,
kind of
there
in like
have been
the bad Santa mold a little bit.
Yeah.
You know?
I'm Santa, but I'm a little edgy.
I'm
Yeah.
Santa, but I can fucking
I would have
kill
rather-
you,
Santa,
bro.
but I fuck.
I would have rather them made J.K. Simmons like a Killer Santa movie, like J.K. Simmons as Killer Santa, than watching a fucking Dwayne the Rock Johnson movie.
Did you guys hear about all the
About
drama on the set of Red
Whatever
One?
the fuck it is.
No, it's
No,
not.
That he was
I
So
didn't hear it.
reportedly, reportedly he would show up late on set quite a bit, and then also the main thing that people are talking about is I have it here. The actor had made it a habit in his movie sets, and specifically on Red One, to pee in water bottles when he wasn't near his trailer to avoid wasting time by going to the public restroom. He would then hand these to the nearest available hand.
All
Who,
right.
J.K. Simmons?
No, Dwayne the Rock Johnson.
The Rock, yeah.
The thing is, pissing in a water bottle is that's psycho shit. But pissing in a Gatorade bottle is totally normal behavior.
That's true.
Well,
At least
yeah,
your
'cause
dickhead
and
can
then you can
fit
just
in it.
resell it as yellow Gatorade.
Yeah. No, yeah, like,
Man, this yellow Gatorade tastes
it's-
so good.
It's because of what Nick said. You don't if you could piss in a water bottle, and like I'm gonna say you got like a 75 to 85% chance that you're gonna piss all over your jeans. But if you can get your entire thing into a Gatorade.
You have to like
What
aim
about
at it.
peeing into like a soda
not
can?
touch. If you can't touch the tip to the hole, or else you're gonna spill everywhere.
Pissing into a soda can that's tricky because it's it's
You
a
got
lot
to tear the
sharper.
top
You
open.
can fucking cut the tip on the lid.
Oh
Yeah.
god, you guys are fucking.
You can make a tear.
So I was
in
watching
the
this
tear
show
in
called
the tip.
Under Duress on Netflix. It's like a Canadian version of Cops,
Mm-hmm.
and it's really funny because it's like all the cops are like super nice guys, and they're always like actually like kind of chill. But I was watching it at one of my previous jobs, and I had it on the big screen in the office because I worked nights. And there was this one episode, and there's this homeless guy. He's like a crackhead or something. He runs out and he's screaming, and the cops are like, "Oh shit!" And motherfucker pulls out a piece of a can, like a little piece of can. And he starts cutting his dick open, uncensored,
Oh.
on a Netflix show. Man cutting his dick open with a Coke can on Canadian cops. And I had this full screen at fucking my office at work, and I was losing my fucking mind. I was so confused.
Did anyone else see it? Your coworkers?
What is
Yeah,
this
they were
called?
like, "What the fuck are you
Under
watching?" dude?"
Duress?
Under Duress.
Under Duress.
Nick, are you watching the BME Pain Olympics right now?
Ugh.
It pretty much was, dude. It was so bad. It was uncensored too, and I was
That's
like, "Why is this on
fucking
Netflix?"
horrible.
Wait, Tim, have you ever seen? Because you're a little bit younger than us. Have you ever seen the BME Pain Olympics?
No, I don't know what this is.
Luckily, I
It's
think
just
the scene
people
you're thinking
torturing
of
their
is
own
fake.
bodies and putting videos of it.
I'm pretty sure the penis cutting scene in Pain Olympics is fake. So
It is fake, but it's basically it's like the millennial poking up picos or whatever. It's that
Oh,
that
is it
level
like
of fucking.
Is it
The
like
one
is
man,
it
one
like
jar, etc.
Is
Yeah.
it like a Jackass type thing? Where
Yes.
It's like a bunch of people just do a bunch of stupid shit.
it's more
But
like it's like more modern times Faces of Death. You know what Faces of Death is?
No,
No, I
this is
don't know
just
what
a
that
smut
is.
film. Like a
I've seen faces
snuff
of death
film,
too.
not smut.
Yeah, it's basically like a reason. It's like a music video, but they basically put a bunch of like modern music on it for the time, like famous bands,
Lincoln
and
Park.
they would just put like there was like metal bands and shit, but they'd just put like people dying, like compilations of like people's deaths caught on camera, and some of them were fake, some of them were real, and they would just sell them as VHS tapes like all over the place.
Pretty sure. I'm certain some of those are illegal.
Oh yeah, yeah. For
Oh
sure.
yeah, probably.
Man,
I mean,
you guys come across a lot of stuff relating to self
Not me.
cutting of
Not
the
me.
penis.
This is the Knicks.
I collect VHS tapes, bro. I've actually found a bunch of those Faces of Death and like resold them and shit.
Guys, I have a bunch of illegal VHS tapes at my home.
You guys never had the urge to look up this shit, like these fucking.
No, I never wanted to.
I have
Fuck
to
no.
I have to admit that I don't anymore, but it was definitely in my early 20s and especially in my early teens. Like the internet was the fucking Wild West back then. You had
Oh
like
yeah.
BME Paint Olympics and remember Bottle Guy and Lemon Party and all these fucking disgusting videos that you could watch.
Rotten.com.
Yeah, all of that shit.
Well, I've always avoided that shit. Like when my girlfriend, like whenever she got home from work, she'd always like put on her fucking like true crime in the bathroom and I would just lay in bed and I'd hear it. It was like Timmy was slaughtered and cut into 50 pieces and then thrown into a well. Nothing was found of him except for his torn scrotum. And I'm just sitting there on the bed getting anxious. I'm like, and then she's just in there fucking having the best time of her life listening to this shit. I'm just like, how do you do this and feel fine? I don't understand.
Yikes.
Well,
I don't know. I kind of get it. I had a phase where I was super into true crime, but I think I slowly realized that had less to do with the actual like content itself and more just like, oh, I just really like David Fincher. I think that was kind of because that started around the time that I was watching and super into Mindhunter, and then naturally that extended to other true crime shit, and it wasn't as good or as interesting as Mindhunter, and then I was like, wait, maybe I just like David Fincher. Maybe I don't
Speaking
care
of
about
good
this.
shows, Mindhunter's fucking awesome.
Rest in peace.
Too bad
Yeah, I'm
Netflix
so
was like,
bummed it got canceled.
yeah. So I mean, to be fair, David Fincher also said he just doesn't want to do it. He's too tired and exhausted to continue doing it.
But then he could have just not made that dog shit movie he made last year.
Well,
And
it wasn't
instead
even
made
so much
Mindhunter.
that. I think
Wait,
he
The
had a
Killer?
meeting
Okay.
with Netflix and was essentially just like, well, they kind of told me that it does not have enough of an audience to even like merit the budget we're getting. So it's just kind of a lost cause, and also I'm tired,
yeah.
Yeah.
So not enough people watched it, which is a bummer.
I mean,
And then all
David
the animated
Fincher
stuff
is-
he's doing too. Like I was
He's
just
doing
like
anime?
all
Oh,
that's
he's on
way
Love,
less
Death,
interesting
Death
to
and
me.
Robots. Yeah,
Forgot about
I
that.
heard. I haven't watched any Love, Death and Robots, but I heard some of the episodes are like really, really amazing, and I think one of them he actually directed himself.
Mhm.
They are really
It's called
cool.
Bad
I've
Traveling
seen a
or
few.
something. Yeah.
No, yeah, I love that show. I wanted to ask you guys, since we're talking about TV for once.
Yeah.
What do you think about like the disappearance of the binge model for release of shows? Because personally, for me, like I loved like back in the mid 2010s when Netflix was like first popping off, and they would put out an entire season of Stranger Things. You could just watch it all in one go. But now it's just like it's all this weekly programming shit that I can't stand.
I think people act like the release schedule has anything to do with it. I think it all has to do with the quality of the show. Like if you think about like something like Stranger Things, like it had the same amount of people talking about it, like basically like what's it called, fucking water cooler talk, as like any other fucking big weekly release show, just because it's a fucking good ass show. Like it doesn't matter how you release it, make something good and people are gonna fucking talk about it. Squid Game too, you know what I mean?
I think
I
there's
think
a really wrong way to release a show, like Invincible season 2.
Oh,
yeah, that was fucking awful.
They
That
really
was
fucked that up.
horrendous.
Hiatuses in the
You
middle of seasons need to be fucking ended.
Dumbass, Jesus! What the fuck were they thinking? Yeah, I was just gonna agree with Nick when I was because I was gonna say I think some shows really benefit from binging because like when I think of some of my favorite, say like sitcoms for example, I think sitcoms are the prime shows that really benefit from like a binge mentality. So like say like Arrested Development. I think Arrested Development is like a prime example of a show that's made to be binged. Like you need to watch like every single episode like as much as you can because they all like build onto each other because like some random episode in like say like season 2 will make a reference to a joke that they made in like the first episode of like season 1 or something like that. Like it's the kind of show that constantly you need to absorb as much as possible when you get to the next like bit or gag. I think Community is another good example of that where it's like it's a show made to be binged, if that makes sense. But then like
The Office.
there are
kind
other
of.
shows. Yeah, The Office kind of as well. Yeah, but there are other shows where I feel like it really benefits from a more weekly release, like where like a slower release schedule would really benefit from it. Like I haven't seen the recent arcs or whatever acts of season 2 of Arcane, but my experience from watching Arcane season 1 is I think this is the type of show that really benefits from kind of blocking off like certain sections for like a specific period before like uploading like the next like couple episodes. I think something like that like really benefits from it, you know, because I for me personally don't really care one way or another how a show is released, just as long as it can keep my interest from beginning to end. And if it can't do that, then it doesn't really fucking matter if it's all dumped at once or if it's being released weekly, because like I'm gonna quit anyway. I'm gonna drop out anyway. So like, what's the fucking point? You know,
Yeah,
like
for Penguin, like I had to force myself to finish it. Like I watched the first couple episodes to give it a chance, and I was just like, until today, I like, couldn't force myself to sit down and watch it all. So I ended up binging it, but only because I didn't want to keep up with it weekly. You know?
Yeah, well, I mean, for the streamers, it's totally like obviously like a commercial rationale why they're switching over to the weekly release model, because even if so say they dump for something like Stranger Things, for example, where it's like I think it's like $30 to $40 million an episode, if not maybe even more for the last season. Like they'd rather have just to make sure they have, even if it's just 2 months of fucking subscribers,
or 2 months.
Yeah, 2 months of people that are boosting up their sub numbers rather than just one, so they can watch it all in a single month. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But I'm just saying, me as like a personal consumer of this shit, I'm like 100% a fucking content addict. So I just want to be able to watch this stuff all in a row if I want to. But that's gone now. You know, it just pissed me off.
It's kind of like, I understand the cynical view of it, where it's like they don't drop everything all at once like Netflix used to do, because everyone just binges it in a day. Like they would drop a Daredevil season back in 2016 or whatever, and everyone would watch it in a weekend, and then that's kind of big.
Yeah, that's actually true, because I really loved whenever like they would release something like late at night, and I just fucking stay up all night fucking binging it. Like those are some good memories for me.
Yeah, I binge watched all of Iron Fist in an entire night.
Why the fuck would you watch Iron Fist in the first place?
Because I'm crazy. I'm psychotic. Can you not tell?
I'm crazy.
I'm the Junkler, baby.
I didn't hate that show as much as most people. It wasn't good, but it was watchable.
But like the whole weekly release schedule for me, why I don't mind it. I know I'm probably in the minority for it, but I like having time to watch an episode of something and then kind of like discuss it. I know everyone's on the same page at once. Like if I'm going to talk to somebody else, I can go chat with them about the newest episode this week. Whereas if it all dumps at once and then I'm only halfway through the season because I'm busy, and then I come in and everyone's talking about the finale that happened, or I can't even go online because everyone's just spoiling the shit out of it because everyone watched it in less than 24 hours. I don't know. That's just my personal preference. I just can't fucking keep up.
I will say that like one of the benefits of a weekly release is like Ghoulif said, the discussion surrounding it. Because like even if you're not watching the show, the fact that people are still talking about it, you know, merits some sort of interest where it's like, okay, maybe this is something. And thankfully only like 5 episodes are out. I can at least watch the first 2 or 3 or something like that, catch up and see what the hype is all about and stuff like that. So you know, I don't know. I guess I do kind of prefer the weekly release as well, you know, now that I think about it. Because, like, if I'm watching so many of this shit, you know, so, like, let's not to talk about anime for a second, but, like, part of how, like, the anime seasons get released is that they all do, like, a weekly release. They don't really dump an entire season of anime, not even if it's on Netflix or something like that. And if I'm watching as many of these shows, then you know, if I'm watching them and I just nothing is happening, I don't give a fuck, like there's just nothing that's speaking to me, then I can just quit while I'm ahead. I don't need to continue watching, you know? Or I hear a lot of rave about shows that I didn't think about, but you know, people are talking about it and there are a couple episodes out and I'm like, okay, maybe I should take some time to watch this over a weekend or something like that. Watch the first 3 or 4 episodes, you know? So
well, my issue with it is like, someone mentioned this before. I think it was maybe Nick. You were saying that like a lot of shows nowadays they're kind of just structured like 6 or 8 hour movies or whatever. But now that the release schedule is going back to the old like golden age and before that model of 1 episode per week, it's like you don't, there's not as much to talk about because the art of like episode crafting is kind of gone. It's all just like these are installments of a larger story rather than
I
a
don't think
strong
that's necessarily.
beginning, middle, and end of like how episodes used to be in better shows.
I don't think that's overall true. I think when it comes to shows like the Disney shows and things like that, it's definitely true where they kind of formulate the episodes like a big long movie. But I still think even shows like The Penguin, I think it still kind of had like a proper episode structure where it was like meant for week to week. I just think whenever you condense it too much, or like limit yourself too much, it definitely comes off as, I don't know, not the week to week experience.
Here's what I think is the best of both worlds. Why not release 3 episodes per week instead of 1? Why not do that?
A lot of shows premiere with multiple episodes, and then the rest get drip fed.
Yeah,
I know, but like I'm saying, why not just do that like every week? Like release like 2 episodes per week, or
like
instead
Arcane.
of 1. Yeah, like Arcane or something. I don't know. I don't think that's a bad idea.
I mean, we're kind of in a phase where they're experimenting pretty hard with it. I mean, the Boys in season 4, I'm pretty sure they put out the first 4 episodes on the premiere night.
First 3, yeah.
First 3, and then the rest were just a single week. Which I think it like what I was saying before, it's literally just to make sure that the show is airing new content for longer than a single month. As long as I can do that, they're like, okay, we're good, you know.
Yeah, then they double their profit margins.
Yeah,
sure.
Yeah. But I mean, I don't know. I think Apple TV has a pretty interesting model right now. I don't know what it is that maybe they're just throwing a bunch of money at people. I'm sure that's what it has to be. But like, they have a lot of interesting people working on stuff at Apple TV.
They're kind of in that
right
like
now.
early Netflix phase. I feel like where Netflix was actually just giving money to fucking everybody to try and make themselves a big brand. You know.
Yeah,
I think Netflix is still doing that, but the problem is they're giving out too much to too many people and then not re-upping those deals when a show needs another season. If it's not the biggest
well, that's what
show
I mean.
in the world.
Once even if they make something decent, they're like, they just fucking can't.
It didn't do Squid Game numbers, so you're canceled.
Yeah, like it's really fucking frustrating because like on paper their mentality is fuck it, let's just throw as many darts on the wall and see what sticks. But like by doing that, you have no idea what's going to become popular. And even then, the people running Netflix have no fucking patience. Or, because, like, you have to keep in mind that, like, some shows, like, become huge phenomenons, like, organically through time and through discussion, Like, some of the best shows in the world didn't become huge. Like, can you imagine if, like, something like, say, like, The Office was being made today and the first season was exactly the same? That shit would be canceled right away because like the first season was shit. No one like everyone who watches The Office for the first time always skips the first season because it's fucking worthless. Like, can you imagine like how we would never have the cultural phenomenon that The Office would have been if this Netflix mentality was running today and people just don't have as much fucking patience as they did back in the day. Like Game of Thrones like didn't become huge right away. It became a huge phenomenon over time when like more people watched it and more people talked about it. Like, but people don't give a shit,
I mean,
I think it's the same to say with like Succession. I haven't seen Succession, but that show wasn't talked about in its first few seasons. It wasn't until it was almost wrapping up. Same with Barry, I've heard. Those are shows that I just keep hearing about because they're so fucking good, but nobody was really talking about them right when they were starting. Like, shows take time to build momentum and build a huge fan base and popularity, and they're not given a chance, a lot of these shows, because they get fucking canceled immediately.
Well, Succession had a pretty strong fan base from the start. It had a steady incline each year, but I think it was always doing pretty well.
So did Barry. But so what's the last like great show y'all can like name?
Succession.
Penguin. I'm just kidding.
Succession, definitely.
I haven't seen Succession yet.
I haven't seen it yet either.
Succession either. I feel so bad because like I heard Scavenger's Reign is really good, and I really, really want to watch Scavenger's Reign, and like that's a show that like just got the Netflix treat. I mean, even though it was done so dirty because like even though they have this conceptually this like very ethereal, very high concept, very artistically driven series. Again, I haven't seen it. I'm just like based on what I've heard about the show, like that just got done dirty because it got no promotion. HBO Max, whatever, like weren't marketing the show at all, and then it just went to fucking die out in the hills because no one watched it because no one knew it existed. And then once it came onto Netflix, then it became a huge hit because apparently the algorithm really liked it or something, but I guess not enough because Netflix like straight up said like, yeah, the show's popular, but like it's not popular enough for us to like warrant a second season, you know? So Scavenger's
Like-
Reign just becomes this one cultural phenomenon that like I guess it got the Clone High treatment, you know, because like Clone High was only got a single season and it died way too early, but because it had this huge cult following and it had this huge like audience that like loved the show. And Clone High got lucky because Lord and Miller got lucky within the industry. They happened to be these huge directors that went on to make like fucking the Lego Movie and the Spider-Verse films and 21 and 22 Jump Street, you know? So they got lucky. They got to bring back their baby, you know? But like I don't know if the same is going to happen to Scavenger's Reign, the people who are making Scavenger's Reign. Like not everyone can have that huge meteoric success, and it sucks that we're not giving these shows the proper due or time that they need to grow and develop into these big cultural phenomena.
No, I mean, Tim, are you guys aware of the story about the first totally failed unaired Game of Thrones pilot? They literally,
Yes.
they shot an
They
entire
recast
fucking.
half everybody, right?
I don't know if they recast
Daenerys was
they,
different.
They did,
Yeah,
they
they
recast
recast
Daenerys,
but-
and I think they recast Cersei as well.
Yeah, there was a few cast members.
I don't think it's necessarily fair to compare a lot of these shows that Netflix cancels to these like great shows, because I think there's a lot more promise shown in those first seasons. And then maybe The Office is a decent example, but like Game of Thrones, like in the first season, if you watched the first season, you knew that show, there was greatness there. And like same with a lot of these like big HBO shows, right? These shows like Netflix cancels are nothing compared to them. It's just, it does suck that they get canceled so early, but it's not like they were
it's
canceling Stranger Things.
It's just a change in the way the corporate higher ups are looking at this. It's all, it's all so algorithmic now. They need to know exactly how many people are watching, for how long they're watching each episode, how many people that start the fucking series end up finishing it. Like there's all these numbers that create
what's like a genuinely amazing show that got canceled too early? Like I can't think of any.
Mindhunter.
Scavenger's Reign.
But that's a different situation. It didn't get canceled after one season either.
It got canceled after 2, which it needed like 3 or 4.
But that was
That's
but that
most
was under
of them.
David
They
Fincher.
usually get about 1 or 2 seasons.
But that was David Fincher's Accord. Like that's like a different situation.
I
It's
mean,
not
he
Netflix putting the
said
axe on it.
like, I know said he was tired of doing it or whatever, but it was also like he said no, like Netflix told him not enough people are watching this to fund it.
Yeah, and he himself has said that like he had a 5-season story outline for the entire show, but we're never going to see any payoffs or even like meaningful character developments because of
Well,
this
if that one was on
mindset,
Netflix, then I definitely attribute it as one
It
of
was
the
on
failures,
Netflix.
because that show was amazing.
I'm just saying,
Yeah.
under,
Like, some of the-
under this new ethos, like fucking Game of Thrones creators would have never gotten a chance to make another pilot. You know, they believed in the concept enough. They were like, all right, we'll give you one more chance. Like that would never fucking happen today. That's my point. You know, it's kind of
But
sad.
then there's the opposite
And
side of the
didn't their-
spectrum.
didn't-
Like
Didn't their show
Look-
like bomb or whatever? Like the Game of Thrones guys, didn't they make a show for Netflix called like 3 Body Problem or something like that?
No,
that
it didn't
one-
bomb. That one actually did really well, I've heard.
Okay, well. Okay,
But then there's the
never mind.
opposite side of the spectrum, like on Amazon Prime, right, where they run these shows that kind of fucking suck ass for way too long. Like they did what's the other fucking fantasy series they started?
Rings of Power.
No, not the Lord of the Rings one.
Wheel of
Oh,
Time.
Wheel of
Wheel- yeah,
Time.
Wheel of Time.
They started the
yeah,
Wheel of
yeah.
Time. That show fucking sucks. I don't even
I
think they've
started,
canceled
like,
it yet.
Yeah, I started watching that and it was not very good.
Carnival Row, like I don't know how the fuck that got another fucking season.
Isn't that the Orlando Bloom fairy show?
Yeah, with Cara Delevingne.
No.
Right.
You don't understand. It's very hot, okay? Just seeing a hot man just fucking rail this hot you don't understand, okay? There's the complex nuances that you just don't understand, okay?
Have you
it's
actually watched
important
this?
to the plot, okay? the sex scenes are important. Shut up.
That show is ass.
Yeah.
But
Wait, what show is this? Wheel of Time?
Carnival Row.
Carnival Row.
It's like a show with I've never watched it. It's like Orlando Bloom and Cara Delevingne, and it's like a Victorian era show, and she's a fairy or some shit. I don't know.
It's like Bright, but if it took place in like Victorian England instead of contemporary LA.
It's like Bright if it was good.
Oh,
Eh.
Honestly, didn't hate Bright.
me
I
too.
don't know
Me
why people
too.
hate Bright
I
so
think
much.
You're
Bright
full
was.
of shit takes today, aren't you?
I liked
Yeah,
Bright.
See,
It was fine.
You know how fucking frustrated I feel when I'm surrounded by people who like pieces of shit like Bright, but when it comes to actual art like Climax, I'm just get fresh shit or whatever.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
Climax
thought
fucking rocks.
Bright was fun. I thought it
Bright
was
was
a fun
inoffensive,
concept.
dude. Yeah.
I liked
what
it.
was so bad about it? What was so bad about it?
Like everything.
Yeah,
The
I don't
writing,
fucking know what you
the
want to like.
performances,
Any point
the
point
attempts
to
at
one thing of
world
quality in
building,
that.
the shitty attempts at like real life.
It was just end of
relations to
watch, but
race,
fucking
which
fucking
also
with
sucks.
orcs.
Which also is bad.
Point to one thing of quality. There's an orc cop in it. What the fuck? How can you not like that? That's
Do you
fucking
remember,
also
do you
amazing.
remember the awesome
Have y'all
scene where they bully the orc cop because of racism? Where they
Fairy lives don't
where they
matter
stick,
today.
Yeah, where they
Yeah.
stick a sign
It's
on the
funny
orc's back and it says "Kick
because
me."
I read
See,
what's
guys,
his fucking
racism.
name? The nepotism baby that wrote the script. What's his fucking name?
Max Landis.
Max Landis.
I read Max Landis' original script for it, and it actually was better. As much as he's a fucking pompous piece of shit.
Max
Didn't
Landis
Didn't he
is
say
such an
this was
obnoxious cunt.
his
Yeah,
Star Wars?
Yeah, he said something along the lines of like, "Yo, bro, this is like totally my Star Wars. I'm
This is
totally
my
creating,
Star
like,
Wars."
a new universe."
Well,
Shut
they
the fuck
did, like-
up, you whiny little cunt. Like, you
David
just
Ayer
don't
did
know what
fucking
you're talking
destroy the
about
fucking
right now.
script. David Ayer did destroy his fucking script, but I don't know.
I'm not gonna go to bat for Bright, but I remember watching it and being like, "Why is everyone saying this sucks?" I'm kind of
Yeah, I'm not
going to
defend it, but like it was a totally fine movie.
Yeah, I was like, whatever.
Okay, all right. I don't even know
It did
what the
make me
fuck I
mad.
was talking about. I got so mad that I forgot what I was talking about.
Tim heard Bright and just went red vision.
Tim, you don't think it's cool to have an orc cop?
That's pretty
no,
badass, bro.
because
There's this movie-
I'm pro-human.
There's this movie
Orc
from like I
lives
think it's the
don't
early
matter, right?
'90s called Alien Nation, and it's basically End of Watch and Bright, except instead of an orc or a Mexican guy, it's an alien, and it's also really really good.
Wait, so in the Bright universe, are humans like a minority group?
No, orcs are.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
Orcs basically
Orcs are-
replace black
no,
people, essentially.
Yeah, orcs are black people because that's as far as racism goes, apparently. For
Yeah, and elves are
No.
like celebrities.
So who are
white
Italians?
people, whatever.
Italians are Italians.
Yeah.
Italians are
Everyone
white.
else is them, except orcs are now black people, but black people also
Italian-
exist, but we're not racist against them anymore, apparently.
Elves are an amalgamation of white people and the rich immigrants from Eastern Asian countries, and orcs are just black people. That's it.
Are
so-
centaurs like Pacific Islanders or something?
I don't even know if centaurs are in the movie.
It doesn't fucking matter. Like, the more you think about the lore and world building of Bright, the more you want to take a gun and just shoot yourself in the fucking
You know, in
head
the
because it
in
makes
Bright,
I think when it comes to-
they mentioned the Alamo happened in the Bright universe, which how the fuck does that
they
make
talk
sense?
about how Shrek fucking exists in this universe, which doesn't make any fucking sense, because in this universe where fairy tale creatures exist, then a movie like fucking Shrek wouldn't make any fucking sense, because the satire wouldn't nail as hard, because orcs and goblins or whatever live in this fucking universe. Like, I put more thought and effort into this movie in like 10 seconds than Max Landis spent like 2 fucking years on the script. Jesus.
I think you could send Shrek into space for aliens to find, and they would still think it's funny. So I think you're wrong.
Yeah. Also, I think you're conflating orcs and ogres. They're different. There's a different race.
That's a different race, and giants are
That is
different,
a
from
different
ogres.
race.
I'm sorry, guys. I got canceled. You guys canceled me. This is my cancel moment. I'm sorry. Let me bust out my ukulele real quick.
I wanted to mention because I've been listening to the pod since you guys started, and I don't think I've heard what any of your favorite movies are. Like, have you guys had a discussion on what are each of your favorite movies? I think I know what VHS Nix is. So is it still Rocky? Is that your favorite movie?
It's not probably my favorite movie. It's up there though,
I
top
thought
5.
I heard you say that was your favorite. Anyway, I want to hear everyone's favorite movie or favorite movies if you don't have one.
Well, when
Okay,
when we started
Okay.
this podcast, we did a list of 10, each of us.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I'll if while someone else goes, I'll bring up the list and I'll read everyone's.
I mean, I've always said my favorite movie is A Clockwork Orange, and I guess I'm
Mhm.
comfortable keeping that as my favorite movie of all time. So, I don't
I think
know.
mine's American History X.
As I watch more movies, there's always a chance that something will become my new favorite movie, but I don't know. It's been Clockwork Orange for quite a while now, so nothing has really changed. So, but I don't know, like, the closest thing I got to bumping off Clockwork Orange was another Stanley Kubrick movie, which was Barry Lyndon when I saw it for the first time, and I was like, "Holy shit, this is fucking awesome!" So, and I think now that I've had some time to reflect, it's probably like my third or fourth favorite Kubrick film. But Clockwork Orange is still my favorite. 2001, I think, is like his best. But like, I can acknowledge that it's his best, but Clockwork Orange is my favorite. So
Okay.
I have
Yeah.
everyone's list. So this is VHS guy's list. American History X, no particular order. Hot Fuzz, Shawshank Redemption, Tropic Thunder, Blade Runner 2049, Chinatown, Django Unchained, The Prestige, The Departed, and Adaptation. I said The Shining, Hereditary 2001, Goodfellas, No Country for Old Men, American Psycho, Inglourious Bastards, There Will Be Blood, Synecdoche, New York, and One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. I think after seeing fucking Tree of Life, that would be on there now. And then
Okay.
Tim's was Clockwork Orange, Adaptation, Spirited Away, End of Evangelion, Perfect Blue, 2001, Old Boy, Eternal Sunshine, Princess Mononoke. Is that how you say it?
Yeah.
And The Thing. So that's the Hate to Interrupt official 30.
So
Okay.
Well, do you what is your top 5? Do you
I
know
have
off
the
the top of your
top-
head?
I have
give
a
us
top, like,
give us your
four-ish,
letterbox
five.
top 4.
I have no particular order. I love Iron Giant is my favorite animated movie.
Nice.
No Country for Old Men is up there for me. You just reminded me of it. I just added that to my letterbox top 4. I have a huge soft spot for Mad Max Fury Road. Denis Villeneuve's Arrival, and then I don't know. I'm just gonna say 2. I really like Everything Everywhere All at Once, but I know that's still a newer pick.
Nice.
And then Alejandro Iñárritu's Birdman.
Ah, shit, I should put Birdman on my
Epic.
list. I fucking love that
Birdman's
movie.
good.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Wait, real quick. So we have about 15-ish minutes left. Let's do a mini Mad Max session because
Okay.
we should finally get
Okay.
into the Fury Road discussion because I don't like that movie, but everyone always makes fun of me for it. So I want to
I just
hear
don't even
why.
know how to
Made
argue
fun
with you
of.
because you're just wrong, and I don't know how to like
All right,
even
well
argue it.
let me just tell you why
talk.
I
Tell
don't.
me why you don't like it.
Yeah, tell us why you don't like this objectively good movie.
Okay, so I mean,
Masterpiece.
obviously it looks great and it's refreshing to see something that's so masterful and there's so many practical effects and everything, blah blah blah. But like the story was not very engaging to me. Max himself isn't really much of a character that I felt like I could relate to. What's the other ones that the Charlize's character?
Furiosa.
Yeah, Furiosa.
Imperator Furiosa.
I don't know. I guess I like Nicholas Hoult in that movie, but yeah, just like story wise, it didn't really grab me at all. I just don't really see like what makes it such a everyone has that movie in their top 20, and I'm just like, what the fuck? What am I missing?
Did you like John Wick?
Yeah, I like John Wick.
What about John Wick is relatable for you as a character?
Well, John Wick is
Because he looks like Keanu Reeves.
No, but people talk about John Wick in a much different way than they talk about Fury Road. Like Fury Road is like a prestige high art fucking film.
Because it's a
I
million
wouldn't say
times.
anyone is arguing
because,
it's high
like,
art.
Because, like, I don't even think it's high art. I think it's just an incredibly
It's
well-produced
fucking amazing.
and well-shot, like, action movie. Like, and I think the best part about Mad Max Fury Road that I just hate, that like, the part of what I don't like about most modern action movies, Mission Impossible, John Wick, fucking whatever, is that they're filled to the brim with what I like to call TWSs, which stands for time wasting shit. Just like
Unnecessary
shit
bullshit.
to wait, shit to waste time and on things that don't matter, on stupid character or world building
What
that
does
isn't
John Wick
interesting
waste
and
time
just
on?
waste time. It's filled with TWSs. Just like all the attempts at world building is just cool guy shit. Isn't it cool? There's like some cool extra stuff with the assassins. It doesn't matter. Like part of what makes Mad Max Fury Road such an effective, like really amazing action movie for me is that it just gets straight into it and it just doesn't fucking waste time. It's just like, here are the characters, here's some like basic world building that you just need to know about this universe, and then we're off. We're already like 15 minutes in, we're already into the first action scene. And that first action scene will last for like half an hour, and then we're gonna get into another action scene, another action scene, another action scene, and each scene is just so conceptually different from the last, but just as equally like fun to watch. And you can see like just how much like great filmmaking is put behind into it. Like I could gush for a fucking hour about the fight between Furiosa and Max, like where his head is changed to the car door and then she has like the missing arm. That is such a incredibly well edited fight scene. Like perfectly well edited. The choreography is just so on fucking point. Just and it's filled with that. It's filled with so much love, so much passion. Like George Miller clearly knows how to shoot action scenes, and you can see his confidence in every scene. And you mentioned like the story, like isn't necessarily the best. Is it complex? Not really, but I don't really expect it to be. It's a movie where cars go vroom vroom, go super duper fast and crash into each other. Like I'm not really expecting complex storytelling. But at the same time, there is an interesting story if you really dig deep, you know, because like at the end of the day, the film is about redemption. It's about characters like trying to escape from their past, and then realizing they need to confront it, and then learning to confront their inner demons, their past demons, whatever, and finding closure with themselves. He just happens.
I'd honestly
to tell that
say
story
Furiosa
with, like,
has
crashing
a
cars,
stronger
you know?
story, like than Mad Max does.
The Furiosa
for
movie.
sure.
Yeah,
Yeah, Furiosa.
Of course.
Well, I will say one.
But,
One thing I like about the movie is the fact that the place that they're trying to get the entire time doesn't exist. It's like this like
It's a red herring,
providential,
essentially.
yeah, like they're trying to get back to this like green homeland that never actually was there. Like that's cool to me. I like that. But
I think you're suffering from like people. Like, first of all, you waited too long to watch the movie.
no,
and you
I watched it. I just watched it right when it came out on like VOD.
You didn't watch it.
I didn't see it in theaters, but I saw it like that year. Yeah, I saw it like 2015, I think.
Okay, because I waited way too long to watch Blade Runner. Like, I didn't watch it until like right before 2049 came out, and my whole life I basically had everybody telling me that it was a fucking masterpiece and it's like the best fucking movie ever made. And then I watched it and I was just like, I had such high expectations for it, and I was just like, I don't know if I like this that much. Am I weird?
Yeah.
So I mean, I've kind of felt it.
It could
I
be a
think
case
one
of that,
thing
you know.
to keep in mind with what George Miller likes to do with, I don't know, all of his movies, but at least Mad Max movies, is he has this idea of creating silent films with sound, which is like, if you have the sound entirely off for Mad Max Fury Road, there is enough context on screen to understand what is happening in each scene and what the story is going to be, which is probably part of your problem why the story is pretty basic, because it's just escape, go there, come back, because it's designed to be just like, you don't need to really know what the story's going on. It's more of just action spectacle and the momentum of the story going forward and going back.
Yeah,
I think that's a good point. Yeah.
Well, Tim, you were saying that like, so they're each. I mean, I guess I haven't seen it since 2015, so maybe I'm misremembering or something. But like, you said that each scene in like sequentially, it just feels so much different than the last. But like, I don't remember feeling like that at all. I remember feeling like, oh, geez, this is like a fucking car chase the entire time. I'm like kind of losing steam over here watching this shit.
Jump in.
At the end, yeah, it's just like, at the end, yeah, it's cars crashing into each other and then cars exploding and shit. But like, what I mean by that is that like the way those like different types of car action related scenes are happening is what's different from the last. You know, like at a certain point, the cars go into a fucking desert tornado, and in any other movie that would be like the climax of the film, but that's like the first like 20 minutes of the movie, and then immediately we're just getting into a different type of action movie, like, you know, when in the scene where they have to escape from the bikers, You can
Mhm.
see like a lot of character development in that moment without any of the characters speaking, because you can see like in that moment they have to trust each other. Max and Furiosa have to trust each other, and you can see that through the way they like hand each other guns and they reload their guns for each other, you know, while they're picking off the bikers one at a time and all this other stuff. And then we get to like the next type of action scene where they get stuck in the mud and they have to like snipe the bullet farmer like in the middle of in the dark and stuff like that. And then like the final climactic fight where two trucks fucking squish another car in between, and it causes it to explode, and the guy
Well,
like
there's also
gets
the
caught
people
on
on the
fire.
fucking
You know?
poles swinging around and ripping people out of the cars.
Yeah, the polecats. Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
polecats.
mhm.
Also, there's a guy on a fucking playing a guitar that shoots fire. How much? What do you want?
Attached to
yeah.
That is
bungee
my
cool.
cords.
balls
Like,
like
yeah.
expanded like for every note that the guitar guy plays
Oh my
on
God.
that scene.
Diegetic music, mwah, beautiful.
Wow. That's
I think
cinema,
if you
baby.
I think if you like level your expectations a little bit and go give it another shot, you might like it more.
Just go in being like, this is just gonna be a fucking balls to the wall action fucking car sick ass movie, and just go
Yeah, I guess
and watch the black and chrome edition.
Also,
give that a try.
Also, have you watched Mad Max 2?
No, Fury Road's the only one I've ever seen.
Road Warrior,
Road
I
Warrior
think
is super
Fury
mid.
Road is like the expansion, the evolved version of Road Warrior, in my opinion.
I still really like Road Warrior, and it's very like it feels very real, which I don't know. I applaud that. It's less orchestrated.
Do you think
I think
Tom
Road
Hardy's
Warrior is
a
kinda-
better Mad Max than Gibson?
He's a different Mad Max, in my
Yeah,
opinion.
I mean it's a different character.
Yeah,
But it is
I
the
mean,
same
I've also-
character, right? Technically.
it sort of.
Technically.
Kind of.
The whole Mad Max universe is very vague, and it's like I think the pitch is generally that each of these Mad Max movies are just stories about the character of Max rather than being actual like this is exactly what happened. No, it's
Chronological
like,
story.
yeah, no,
Yeah.
it's just like someone. Oh, did you guys hear about that time when he saved this whole compound and he was the road warrior? Or oh, did you hear about the time he rode in a plane and shot a bunch of people and fought in a big Thunderdome? You know, like he's just
Yeah,
a
that's how at
wasteland
least
legend.
like yeah, that's how at least like the first 3 Mad Max movies were told. They were told as if they were like some like fucking storybook that like your grandpa would tell your kids. Like, oh, don't you remember the time when
Do you remember the Road Warrior?
remember the time when Lord Humongous in his BDSM stripper costume yelled
In
at a
my assless
megaphone
chaps.
asking in his assless chaps asked for oil from the villagers in hockey pads? Like, you know, it's that type of shit, you know? Like it's weird. I actually do not like any of the original Mad Max films. The first 2 I kind of respect more than I actually like. And then the third one is just atrocious garbage. I fucking hate
the third one.
Yeah, I fucking
It's really
yeah,
funny though.
Man,
It
me
is
and
pretty
me and Ethan have like a lot of like film. I didn't realize how connected we are. We're really sharing the same brain cell on a lot of these
Yeah.
moments. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I
but yeah,
like the original 3. I mean, the third one's bad. I like Road Warrior a lot. The first Mad Max, I don't think it's good, but I have so much respect for watching those people just fling off of motorcycles
Yeah, the
for like
first
a
movie.
$200,000 movie.
Yeah, the first
Yeah,
movie is like impressive in the sense that like wow, like these people who did this in their spare time, because keep in mind like George Miller was like a doctor or something before
Yep,
while
he
he
was
was
an
making
ER
the movie.
doctor.
Yeah, so like they literally did this in their spare time and had like fucking $10 worth of lunch money to make the movie. And the fact that they got
I look
all
at-
those crazy shots is really, really impressive.
I look at George like the first Mad Max is sort of in a similar light to how I look at like the early Peter Jackson films.
Mm-hmm.
Sure, yeah, that's a good
Like
comparison.
building the foundation of his creative mind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, some directors, when they're that young and they have that limited money to work with, they normally make movies that I just respect more than I like, you know? Like I'm never gonna
Like
like
Slacker.
sure, yeah. Like I think like Sam Raimi is like one of the few directors that actually managed to make a movie super cheap and super amateur that I still like unironically really love.
I don't even like Evil
I
Dead
think
1 very much.
Evil
if I'm
Dead
being honest.
1 is
I mean,
awesome. I really love Evil Dead 1, and that movie was made for like fucking $10, you know, but there's so much like energy behind the camera, there's so much personality behind the directing, and yeah, a lot of the acting like sucks, but you know, it's already trying to be like a dumb, campy, like stupid B movie with tree raping, so like whatever. Like it kind of fits what it's going for. And then Evil Dead 2 is just like the first movie, but like, oh, now he has a real budget and real actors to work with this time.
And it's like a parody remake of the first one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Tim, how do you feel about Raimi coming back to direct Doctor Strange 3? Are you going to see it if he does it?
Is he actually?
I've heard he's like signed on to start,
Is he? Is
do the
that
whole
a
thing.
fact? Hold on, let me.
I feel like he wouldn't agree to it unless he got a little bit more freedom this time, if I'm being honest. So
What was the
honestly,
last movie he did before Doctor Strange 2? Was it Great and Powerful Oz?
Oz the Great and Powerful.
Oh yeah, that.
Yeah, I've only seen that once, and I'm kind of curious to revisit it. Not because I give a shit about the Wizard of Oz, but more because it's Sam Raimi and he's making a dumb Wizard of Oz prequel.
it's not great.
I
I feel
remember-
like, does this guy have money problems or something? Why does he keep accepting these movies?
Sam Raimi?
I
Yeah.
don't know.
I think
'cause-
he seems to make movies whenever he feels like it. Like he did Oz Great and Powerful in 2012, and then Doctor Strange 2 in a decade later. So
he's
he
the
loves
type
comic
of
books, I
director.
think, right?
Yeah, he loves spectacle. I think that's the best thing I can describe Sam Raimi is that like he really likes making spectacle-driven movie, and most of the times that spectacle is primarily derived from either campy like horror comedy B movies or making like Ghoulif said, like
Well, like the last
superhero
movie
shit,
that he made that actually felt like a Raimi movie was Drag Me to Hell, and that was like fucking 16 years or 20. How long ago was that?
let me see.
2009?
2010, I think. I don't know.
So like 16 years ago.
That was 2009.
Yeah.
Yeah, right after Spider-Man 3. It must have been very cathartic for him to like work on something super low budget, like after
Mhm.
working on these gigantic 200 million plus Spider-Man movies or whatever, especially after the third one where Sony broke into his house and pointed a gun at his children and said, either you put in Eric Foreman Venom or we're going to murder your entire family.
I just don't understand why he's even directing anything unless it's what he wants at this point. Like I just like there can't be that much fucking good feeling from making a Doctor Strange 2 movie.
I don't know. He really Doctor Strange is like his second favorite comic book character outside of Spider-Man. So he like was really excited to do the other Doctor Strange, even if he didn't really get
Yeah,
writing
dude,
control.
he loves this shit. What do you mean?
Yeah, he's a big comic book fucking nerd.
He's like if Kevin Smith was a good director. Like he just really is into this like comic book superhero shit, and he wants to make comic book superhero shit. Like I don't really care as long as he's making movies and I can go see them. Then whatever, Like
but
I
I don't
went to go
want to
see
see him make a bad movie.
I
What if he
mean,
wants to make a bad movie? Leave him
yeah,
alone.
like let him do whatever the fuck he wants. You're not his
gave
mom.
us
You
this-
don't
I'm
get
not
to
telling
tell
him
him
what to. I'm not telling him what to do. I'm saying what I want as a fucking viewer.
Yeah, but you're imposing your taste on him when he clearly likes this stuff. You're like, why would he ever do something that I hate?
Yeah, why would he?
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean that's probably like if he wanted to make a Thor movie like in the 90s, not because like Thor was some hot property or whatever. He did it because he just fucking wanted to do it, and he was like, "Yo, Stan Lee, my boy, can we get a Thor movie going along?" And
Now that we don't
so,
have Taika Waititi probably doing the next Thor movie, honestly,
No,
who they
definitely
should
not.
who they should get to do it next?
Oh.
Chris
Sam
Stuckman.
Raimi. Oh, okay. Yeah, I guess we're doing this.
Yeah, we needed to mention it. Oh, Tim, real quick, say Barnyard.
Oh,
Yeah, it's a
Barnyard.
this
All
movie.
right, we're good.
Wait, no, he has to say something is a Barnyard level movie. What's the
Um,
Barnyard level movie of the day?
You know what is a Barnyard level film that I've thought of recently? I don't know. I fucking
Rocky?
forgot already. Oh yeah, wait, but I already said that. I already said Rocky 5 was a Barnyard level film. I don't know.
The Jimmy Neutron movie.
Jimmy Neutron, yeah, whatever. Megalopolis was a huge Barnyard level film. That was like the
There
last
you
like
go.
Barnyard
Joker
level film
Folly
I
is
saw.
doo-doo.
No, Megalopolis was more entertaining than Jonkler Folia Dumb. I mean that because like I got more ironic entertainment out of Megalopolis than Jonkler 2. Like I thought Megalopolis was
What
funnier.
what else is
personally.
upcoming, Ghoulif? I know you pay more attention to like upcoming shit than we do.
Movies
than
or
I do.
shows?
Nosferatu is coming out. I'm so pumped
Yep,
for that.
I'm
Nosferatu
excited.
next month.
I'm excited.
I've heard such great things
Superman's
about
coming out next
Next
year.
next week we're gonna be talking about fucking Gladiator. Who do y'all think it's actually gonna be good?
Gladiator.
Glad
it.
to
I don't know.
What are our expectations going in?
It's gonna
I'm
be
sure it'll
mid.
be fine. It'll be mid.
I think
I'm
I might,
guessing.
I think I might like it. I have a good
Yeah.
feeling about it for some reason.
Since we were mentioning Thor, and we were talking about Mad Max, the rumor right now, or at least George Miller has offered, he wants to direct the next Thor.
Oh wow.
Is that true?
That's what he said. He's expressed interest in doing Thor 5, but also he wants to do
Why?
Mad Max movies for the rest of his life. So I don't know,
Do y'all
because he
do
likes
y'all
working
feel,
with Hemsworth. They worked together on Furiosa.
Oh.
Do y'all
Oh,
feel
okay.
like where they? So I know the last Thor movie was absolute dog shit, but how do you feel about where they left the story off for the next person?
I don't remember.
Like with him with the daughter and shit.
Honestly,
I
I
wait.
don't
Did,
even remember what the fuck happened at the end of
Do
the
you-
last four.
do you guys remember? Do you remember like the all monochromatic scene when they're on the little planet and fighting?
fighting Christian Bale.
That was actually a really fucking. That was probably like one of the most visually appealing
With
things.
the lightning spreading to all the children.
I think the idea was
no.
cool,
They were on
but
the
I don't
very
think it
tiny
was
planet.
executed
Remember?
well. Yeah, where the light is like circling them of the black and white, right?
Yeah, that was really cool. I
think
that.
the idea was cool. I don't know if it exactly, because just everything in that movie looked so like green screen to me and like
Yeah,
shitty.
it had a very what's the
Spy
fucking
Kids
like a
vibe.
like that like soft soft film
I
around
wouldn't
everybody
go- I
almost.
I wouldn't go so far as to call it Spy Kids 3D esque, but it definitely is
pretty damn
pushing
close
it to
to me.
that. Yeah. But on the topic of movies that I'm excited for, sorry, I was trying to look through some shit. I know the upcoming Luca Guadagnino film is coming out, Queer.
I heard that was good. Daniel
Is that
Craig.
the one with
Yeah,
Daniel Craig?
Yeah.
I didn't get a chance to see it at New York Film Festival, but I heard it was good, and so I'll probably see that.
That's coming out
Um,
before the year's over.
At the film festival, or is it coming out like wide release?
No, it's getting a wide release. I think like late November, early December, or something
God
Oh,
like that.
what do y'all think about fucking Luca fucking possibly directing a American Psycho
You guys talked
remake?
about this a couple episodes ago.
Did
Yeah,
we?
I think we already talked about this. Yeah.
Yeah, you guys did.
I'm still upset about it.
I mean, I think that the concept of American Psycho it's definitely, if we are going to be doing remakes of everything, it's kind of ripe for a remake in our modern 2020s fucking social media age or whatever. I'd be curious to see what he has to say about that. I don't know. Although the
I hope
American
he
Psycho, it's so
drastically changes the story.
it's so
if he's gonna do it.
it's so tied to like the Reagan era and fucking finance bros of that time. But I don't
That's
know.
what I'm saying. It's literally
You
making
can just
fun
do
of like the
crypto
yuppies
bros in a
specifically.
modern day.
Yeah, you'd have to like just drastically change it and really modernize it to make it work.
I'm sure he will.
Oh, here's a movie I'm excited for. It's gonna make $1 trillion at the box office. Craven the Hunter.
Oh hell yeah!
It's gonna
Okay,
make
I fucking love Aaron Taylor
Pavilion
Johnson.
I
Awesome.
know you've got a big heart on for him.
I
talk
fucking
about it all the damn
love
time,
him, bro. I love him, bro. I will watch that movie, and even if it's bad, I'm going to say it's good. So just know that I'm going to be biased.
I
Okay, I
thought
pulled up
he was great in Bullet Train.
The-
I thought.
Here's the thing.
And Kick-Ass.
Out of the 4 Sony not Spider-Man movies that Sony have
The
released,
Spam universe, the Sony Pictures
Yeah.
universe of Marvel movies.
yeah, the Spam universe, yeah, the scam. I don't know.
Spam.
Out of all 4 of them, 3 out of the 4, I guess 5, but I haven't seen the newest Venom yet, so let's just say 4 for now. Out of the 4 of them, 3 of them have been barnyard level films. They have been fucking hilarious. They have just been some of the funniest shit ever that like I ironically get so much like entertainment and laughter out of. Madam Web, seeing that on the big screen drunk with friends is like some of the funniest, most entertaining shit I've had in a theater in a long while. It was so much fun.
I don't know why they're making a Craven the Hunter movie.
Because Venom
Content.
Because Venom made money. And they need
No,
more.
it's because that's the only like other character they have access to.
Yeah.
But, like it just sounds fucking stupid.
Well, I think they would be fucking stupid not to put Garfield or Raimi into this fucking this universe. Like, why?
I just hate that they're like barely trying to like even make a decent, like they're not even throwing everything at the wall. They're just like, okay, here's our villain, and here's the villain for them is the same guy, but he's a different color now.
Also, I meant
look
I
at
meant
the
to say
writing
Tobey
team of
Maguire,
this fucking
sorry.
movie.
I meant
Look
to
at
say
the
Tobey
writing
Maguire.
teams. Look at the writing teams they have behind these movies. They're literally getting like specifically terrible fucking writers who've made fucking bad fucking movies over and over and over again. So
yeah,
like
the guys who wrote Morbius also wrote Madam Web.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Like they're genuinely not trying. I think they're just have to make these movies for some reason.
So I pulled up the list of 2025 movies, and I think a few of these we can chat about.
I was
we
going to
have-
mention, sorry, a couple
go
more
ahead.
that I wanted to recommend to you all, because some of the stuff that I saw at New York Film Festival, or stuff I wanted to see or couldn't, or I have seen, should be getting releases at the end of this year. There's a film called The Brutalist that I saw.
Oh, I've heard that's good.
That should
Yeah.
be
I saw
coming out.
Let's talk about it.
I
With
personally,
Adrian Brody.
Yes.
yeah, I personally have very mixed feelings towards it. But I recommend you guys see it for yourself. It is 3.5 hours long. I'm just gonna let you guys know
That's
about
pretty
that.
brutal.
I actually don't
Yeah,
mind long movies.
hell yeah. There's a movie called Hard Truths that I didn't get to see at New York Film Festival, but I heard was pretty good. So there's that. There's a movie called The Nickel Boys that was like my favorite thing that I saw from New York Film Festival. It either is getting like a limited release at the end of this year or a wide release next year. Let's see what else. Yeah, some other stuff that I didn't get the chance to see, like The Room Next Door or Oh Canada, are probably getting released at the end of the year. So yeah, some good stuff you guys could check out if you guys want. And then, like you said, Nosferatu is coming out at the end of this year. I think that like that shitty Bob Dylan movie is also coming out at the end of this year. That looks really stupid. That's coming out
With Tim Chim.
Yeah, with Tim Chim. Yeah,
I'm definitely
Tim
gonna
Chim?
see it. I'm just too big of a Bob Dylan fan not to watch that.
Yeah. So some of the stuff we have
yeah.
coming
Sorry.
up
Anyway,
next year.
yeah,
No, you're
2025
good.
movies. Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think earliest we have is Mickey 17 from Bong Joon-ho, starring Robert Pattinson.
I think that got pushed back to April.
I think it might have been February. It's like springtime now, where it was supposed to come out in early January.
Springtime for Hitler.
Have you guys seen
and
anything from Mickey
Germany.
17? Nix?
From Bong Joon-ho? Or just the
like,
movie
no, from Mickey 17.
specifically?
Like a trailer or anything?
Yeah.
I didn't watch a trailer. I know
I'm
it exists. I haven't seen the trailer, but
It's
I'm
really
specifically
good.
Yeah,
trying to
I'm-
avoid the trailers.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah,
if you
I'm
want to go
purposely
in
trying to like go into this as blind. I'm trying to do a Hayao Miyazaki movie type thing where like I don't want
I went
to
into-
know anything about the movie. I just want to go into.
I went
it
into
blind.
Parasite completely blind, and I'm so fucking happy I did.
Same.
Yeah.
And I think before that we have Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein, which I know he doesn't make always hits. He's kind of hit or miss for me, but
Yeah,
I still
he's a hit
watch
or miss
anything he
director.
makes.
Yeah.
I just think Frankenstein is just ripe for terrible adaptations or adaptations, whatever.
I just think I don't know. I just read the
I
book
know-
recently.
I know Garth Ennis's upcoming film Havoc is coming out. He's the guy who directed The Raid and The Raid
Wait.
2. So
Oh,
I was gonna
it's
Oh,
Havoc
Gareth,
starring
Gareth,
Tom Hardy,
Gareth
right?
Evans.
whatever.
Gareth
Yeah.
Edwards did
Garth,
the
Garth
Godzilla.
Ennis is the guy who wrote The Boys.
yeah.
Oh, the I'm 14 and this is deep guy. Yeah. I
Yeah, that
remember.
guy.
So, yeah.
Yeah, we have Nosferatu
Um,
coming out. Then what else? Have you guys ever seen the Silent Hill movies?
Mm-mm.
Yeah,
I
okay.
want
The first
to.
one's
I
okay.
want
The
to
second
watch
one's
them.
fucking horrible. Anyway,
Yeah.
the director of the first one's coming back to make an adaptation of Silent Hill 2. So that's coming out.
That could be
it doesn't,
fun.
It doesn't look good, but and then
I
we'll see
know,
if Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse comes out next year.
No, it's not.
I don't know why
year.
I literally okay. I also just watched that movie 2 nights ago. I had not seen it.
Across
Why the
Spider-Verse?
fuck? Yes. Why the fuck did they end it on a goddamn cliffhanger?
Oh man, isn't it so good?
money.
I'm so glad I waited at this point. Like,
It's a
holy
long-
shit, bro.
It's a long ass movie though.
Yeah. Yeah. I think the upcoming Steven Soderbergh film is coming out in 2025. Although I think some people got to see it early in 2024.
Culture Nick, do you have anything you're excited for next year?
I'd have to look at the list. I don't
Anything
know.
off the top of your head?
Nothing that
here's
comes
a
off
movie
the
that
top of
I'm
my head, no.
super. here's a movie that I'm super super excited to see. Sinners. I am
that's the not Jordan Peele, Michael B. Jordan one, right?
Yeah, the Ryan Coogler.
It's a vampire movie, right?
Vampire. Yeah. I saw the trailer and I was like hooked. I'm a huge fan of Ryan Coogler, so I was gonna see it anyway. But yeah, once I saw the trailer, I was like, yes, I'm in. Let's do this.
Big Black Panther fan, Tim?
So 28 years later,
No, not really.
Avatar. Avatar, I'm fucking stoked on, dude. Fuck all the Avatar haters, dude. They can lick
I
my
think
ass.
Avatar 2 is fucking bad.
I like Avatar.
I liked it, bro.
I think Avatar
2
1 is
was
alright.
giga mid. Yeah,
I think Avatar
2 is
not bad. I just think it's
I saw
not
Avatar
great.
2 in theaters twice on IMAX, and I'm happy.
Me too,
because
because my dad wanted to see it, because every fucking dad on the planet saw Avatar and Avatar 2.
Dude, they're
Yeah.
sick, bro. They're spectacle, but they're sick. It's like Marvel. It's like a Marvel movie, but better.
They're mid as hell. I'm sorry. I don't
Avatar
care.
1.
I like
Avatar 1. I
the
really
blue
like.
people fuck each other with their fucking hairs, and it's fucking cool, bro.
Avatar 1 is really good. I really like the first Avatar. Avatar 2 is the most mid shit ever. I was just not having it.
But they rode underwater.
Cool.
Cool.
Okay.
Do you guys remember the
Fantastic.
There's a 9/11 scene in Avatar 1. Do you remember that?
There's a 9/11 scene.
When they
when
What?
the tree gets exploded.
yeah, that's literally
They
Oh,
hit the
yeah.
second tree.
that's 9/11. I think.
Yeah, isn't the James Gunn Superman movie coming
it
out
is.
next year?
Yeah, July. I'm excited for that.
I'll
I'm
watch
not
it.
excited for it, but we'll see.
I think the
I'm
new
excited.
Ari Aster movie might be, or is that maybe 2026? He's doing a western with Joaquin
really?
Phoenix. Yeah, it's called Eddington.
Yeah, I'll watch it.
Dude, I just want to fucking put a tube down that guy's throat and fart in it.
Nick hates Ari Aster for some reason.
I hate him.
Yeah. And Jordan Peele's I thought he had a film coming out next
Are
year,
y'all
but
excited
that's
for the-
2026.
Are y'all excited for the live action Lilo and Stitch?
No. What about the live action Minecraft?
That's gonna be
I just
sick.
realized I'm kind of dressed like Steve right now.
I am Steve.
Steve.
Oh wait, so who is Steve in Minecraft lore? Can you
Jack
guys-
Black.
No, but like in the game,
No,
like
it's
he's
just
the guy you
the
play.
character
It's
you play.
Jablinski
It's
Games. No,
just the
there is
default
no
skin.
character. Steve isn't a character. He's just Jablinski Games. They're just pretending that it's just a character that you know.
But yeah, he's just the default skin, basically.
oh,
Oh
Okay.
shit! There's a
They
Michel
sh-
Gondry
they sh-
film coming up.
They
Fuck,
should have made him
I
shave
wanna-
at least.
Yeah, it's crazy how quick everyone turned on Jack Black, it seems.
Yeah,
Well, I mean,
And it
the
sucks 'cause,
Tenacious
like,
D
he's
shit
an
was fucked up.
and it sucks because he's an he could actually be a decent actor if he just tried, but I guess he just doesn't give a shit, you know.
When has he ever shown range? Ever?
I mean, he doesn't
When he
have
sings.
a huge range, but when he like
Yeah.
when he gives a shit in a
Okay.
role, like he really sells it, you know. Like School
He's
of
great in
Rock
School
is
Like
not
when?
Yeah.
yeah, School of Rock is not an amazing movie or anything, but he gives a very energetic performance.
But
in
he's
School
being
of
a
Rock.
goofball. Like I think being a good actor and being like a good comedian are two different things. Like
I
he's a
think
good comedy
comedic
actor, but like
actor. I wouldn't
But,
say
like-
he's a great Oscar level actor. I think he's a good comedy actor.
yeah. Well,
absolutely.
not every actor has to be all things. Sometimes you just
No.
find your lane. You do that. That's okay.
But like,
Yeah, you're making
But what
a
does
whole
it
video
take
about
for y'all
that,
to? But what does it? I know, but what does it take for y'all to call somebody a good actor? Like, what is y'all's stipulation?
Good.
They have to be good at acting. They have to not give
But
shitty
what does that mean?
performances.
What does that mean, though?
Don't be bad at acting.
I mean, I think it means they're able to evoke a wide range of emotions. They're able to transform themselves in roles. They're able to
Yeah.
take either like mediocre writing or great writing and elevate it to way beyond what it seems on the page. I don't know. It's a lot of things.
So when has Jack Black done those things? He's always Jack Black. Sometimes he's Mexican Jack Black in stretchy pants, and sometimes he's Jack Black yelling at students in a school.
Well, yeah, I mean, he's not like Daniel Day-Lewis or something though. He's like a poo-poo pee-pee guy. That's okay.
But Adam Sandler's a poo-poo pee-pee guy, but he's fucking
But he also did
good,
Uncut
different
Gems.
character before.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
he
but-
can actually
and
like
Punch Drunk
give a
Love.
competent performance. Yeah.
No one's gonna
Yeah.
say that Adam Sandler and Jack Black are on the same level in terms of acting.
I'm just saying, if somebody calls Jack Black a good actor, then I feel like I need to step in and be like, how?
He's good at what he does.
He's good
as an
at
actor.
his shtick. He's good at
Yes.
being funny fat guy and funny fat guy things. You know, like
Okay,
the-
that's fair.
You know, like he's good at being Poe from Kung Fu Panda. He's good at
Like he did Bernie. He did Bernie, and that movie was kind of ass.
He's good in the occasional Richard Linklater film, you know. So like he knows what he's good at, and he commits to it. And
Honestly,
it's why like The Rock like keeps getting fucking roles, even though he's a shitty actor. You know, like he's good at being The Rock. He's good at being
disagree.
like a stoic badass type.
You'd
guy
say The
who
Rock
makes
is a good
quirky
actor?
comments.
No. I think honestly, that's like how I'm opposite feeling. I think the way that we view Jack Black is like he's good at doing his thing. I think The Rock is fucking horrible at doing his thing. He's so bad at just being a generic action guy because he's fucking enormous, and he also just isn't very good. He should be in
I'm really
charismatic
excited for his
kids
new
movies,
movie.
not action movies where he's a serious
There's a
dad.
reason why Hobbs and Shaw is the worst fucking Fast and Furious movie, because I have to suffer through the most.
I actually like
The
that
Rock.
movie. That's the only Fast and the
Rock the
Furious movie I
most.
like, and it's terrible.
Wait, are you
But it's
talking
entertaining.
when you
It's a
say
barnyard level film.
when you say his new movie? Are you talking about Red One?
No, his new movie with one of the fucking
One of the
Safdie brothers.
Safdies.
And he-
The Smashing Machine.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks fucking. I'm so excited, bro.
I'm excited for him to try for once.
Yeah, me
'Cause he
too.
And the
needs
last time he tried, it was in Southland Tales, and that wasn't exactly great. So
I think he'll do a good job.
pretentious douchebags are super into Southland Tales, but outside of that, I don't really know. So
You fucking hate
I'm-
that movie. I haven't watched it since it came out, but I don't remember having strong feelings about it.
You ever hear the like who put that dick in my ass? Like the Rock thing?
No.
what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, what are you talking about?
It was a Cumtown bit. They would just do a Rock imitation and be
Oh.
like, who put the
Oh.
fucking dick in my ass? I don't know.
What's the clip of The Rock where he's like, "It's the biggest pile of dog shit I've ever seen"? What is that from?
I don't know.
No?
Probably his own fucking acting career.
I
Was
feel
that
like
the-
that sounds like something he'd say from Journey to the Mysterious Island, right?
It was the Clifford the Big Red Dog movie.
Is he in that?
Was he in that?
I don't know. That would just be the biggest
No,
pile
it
of
was
shit
in
you've ever
Rampage,
seen.
right? Because that's another movie where he has to share the screen with a giant CGI thing.
A giant CGI turd from one of the monsters. Shit, that'd be kind of funny in a movie
No,
like
but
that.
I remember there's a moment in Rampage where the giant gorilla takes a shit, and they're like, "Damn, that's a big piece of shit," right?
I think if I was a big director in Hollywood, I think what I would do is I would write a really terrible movie and put The Rock in it, and then not pay him.
You can get sued.
Yeah.
You have the Rock estate coming.
I don't have
after you.
money. So what's he gonna do?
Well, he can garnish your wages, and then
And he'll pee in your bottles.
yeah.
Yeah, but he's gonna pee in a water bottle, so he's a fucking poser.
Can The Rock pee in my water bottle so I can throw it at him?
Or sell it for a lot of money.
That's true. I could start a fucking Belle Delphine like bathwater business. I just sell The Rock's like piss bottles. I could probably go for like
He probably could
$500,000
sell
bucks
The Rock's
each.
piss for a lot of money.
Probably.
Remember when everyone was saying they thought The Rock was going to run for president?
For like a week.
I think
There's
it was
been a lot
crazy
of
that people-
actors
It's crazy that
think
people
they
used
wanna
to
run for
actually
president.
like The Rock. I feel like is that toning down or no?
No, general
no,
public still
you-
likes The Rock.
I remember there was this was back in the day when I used to be into Screen Junkies. That was like the most like pro The Rock like YouTube channel ever. They were like, "Oh hell yeah, The Rock! The Rock is so awesome. He's epic. He's the best and everything, or whatever."
Tooth Fairy's
So-
pretty good.
I
What,
just the Rock is he's so irrelevant. Like there's now that we have John Cena and Dave Bautista, like
Bautista.
why the fuck do we
Yeah.
need The Rock anymore?
We don't. And he's one
Yeah,
of the
I
most
think that's
expensive
probably-
actors in Hollywood.
I think he probably sees it coming, and that's why maybe he's taking a serious role.
I think that's why
Unless-
he is,
Yeah.
because he's had flop after flop recently.
Or maybe the Safdie brothers were just like, I see something in this guy. And then
I
did
think
that.
Clearly,
that's the one
you
thing I really
guys-
like about the Safdie brothers is that they're able to take actors who have a preconceived notion about who they are, like Adam Sandler, Robert Pattinson, and be able to transform them in these cool movies. So I think that was The Rock being like, all right,
Sandler's
fuck it, I'll
doing
try
another
it.
Safdie brothers movie upcoming, I think.
Who is?
I don't
No,
know if
I
it's
think
next-
that
Adam
got I think
Sandler.
that got canned because like it
Did
came,
it?
they were trying to make it during like COVID because they were trying to like align it with like basketball season or something like that, and so I think they had to abandon the project. So which
Okay.
sucks.
Oh, really?
but
Damn.
whatever. So and I think the Safdies have like split because they're now kind of going off to do their own things. Like Josh is, or was it
It's
Benny?
probably
He
I
did
don't
the
know.
temporary.
curse.
Betty. Yeah, Betty's like. Well, he's acting now. He's like acting and shit. He's in
Star Wars. He
and
was
all
in
this other
Obi-Wan.
stuff. That's true. Yeah, he was in
He
Obi-Wan.
was in Obi-Wan?
Yeah, he's like a Jedi guy in Obi-Wan.
He was fucking Obi-Wan in the movie? In the show?
Yeah, he
I
was
never watched
fucking
it all,
Obi-Wan. It was.
Yeah, I didn't finish it, but he's in it.
He was the first porn thing.
I don't know if you guys saw, but one of our commenters on TikTok said that he would pay us $10 if we could get a girl to be a guest star on this podcast.
What's
That's
that?
true. Should we do that? Do we need to get a girl in here?
I mean, can we do that? Let's talk about it if it's possible.
I
can make
have
it
never seen or touched or heard a girl before, ever.
Whether they know anything about movies will be the real question. But
I mean, girls
That's
know about
fine.
movies.
I mean, okay.
You don't think
Yeah, I fuck. I had like a
Yeah,
point that
you're not
I
helping
was
the case.
I was just gonna say I was gonna end it at. Clearly, you guys have never seen Dave Bautista and John Cena's best performance. Dave Bautista was in My Spy and Stuber. Have you guys seen those epic films? And
Yeah,
then
they're
John
excellent.
Cena was in Playing with Fire and Sisters with Amy Poehler and Tina Fey. Remember that? Trainwreck?
his character
kinda
in
sick that
Trainwreck is so funny.
It's kind of sick that Kumail Nanjiani or whatever the fuck is Jack now.
This happened
He looks-
that happened
I
like
feel
3
he lost
years
his
ago.
funniness. Yeah, that was
did.
Eternals
Yeah.
era, bro.
He's not funny anymore.
I feel like
but
he
at
lost
least-
his funniness when he got buff.
Yeah.
He got jaw implants.
Did he?
It really looks like it.
Well, I saw that like if you get super shredded and
That
like
ha-
lose
yeah,
a lot of
I was
weight,
about
your
to say-
face changes. Maybe he's on those Ozempic. I don't know.
When I got really
Allegedly.
skinny, my like round face completely changed shape. I looked way different. So
All right, well, you guys want to wrap it up here?
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
Yeah.
let's wrap it up. Yeah.
shout out
so-
Chris Stuckman.
Ghoulif,
That's it.
thanks again for coming back on the
Oh yeah, do you want
podcast.
to
do you
anything
want
to shout out?
Yeah,
Thanks
do
for
you want
having
to
me.
whore out your products?
Oh yeah, I if you guys want to watch YouTube videos from me, you can go to youtube.com/Ghoulif and watch some of my shit. Thank you boys for having me on the pod. I really appreciate
Rep
it.
your letterbox, man.
Oh,
Unfortunately,
it's
Ballsack
Ghoulif from
VPN didn't.
Letterboxd.
Ballsack VPN didn't extend their offer with us, so hopefully I'll have a new sponsor for us by next week. But I'll keep you all up to date on that.
Oh yeah.
Woo.
So fuck Ballsack VPN. Don't sign up anymore.
My butthole is clenching with anticipation.